Chapter 2255. Rumble. In the void, a powerful aura rose and the atmosphere became extremely heavy. Ling Xiao and Tianzi's eyes clashed across the void. Both of them were emitting an extremely powerful battle intent. Their auras collided and surged violently, causing the surrounding void to tremble violently. Ling Xiao's side had Dugu Qiubai, Pangu Tiangang, Zhao Ritian, Long Xiaoxiao, and the others. Their strength was not weak and was not much weaker than the people that Tianzi had gathered. Tianzi understood that it was impossible for him to kill Ling Xiao today, but he still had to fight. As the son of the Heavenly Emperor, he had his own supreme pride. Whether it was the other imperial princes or the other monstrous geniuses in the universe, they were all suppressed by his brilliance. They were all in awe of his name. He was the most dazzling peerless genius in the universe. Even if he couldn't kill Ling Xiao, he wanted to use this battle to tell everyone that he, Tianzi, was still the strongest. Ling Xiao's eyes were calm and deep. His battle intent soared. The grudge between him and Tianzi had started even before they had entered the primal chaos ancient lands. He could sense how strong Tianzi was. It was an indescribable feeling, as though they were destined enemies. However, Ling Xiao also knew that if he couldn't deal with the Heavenly Emperor's sword in Tianzi's hand, he wouldn't be able to have a real battle with Tianzi. Since the Fortune Jade Disc had been exposed, Ling Xiao was prepared to use it to block the Heavenly Emperor's sword in Tianzi's hand and have a great battle with him. At this moment, Tianzi's body suddenly trembled. His eyes revealed a look of disbelief. In an instant, monstrous anger surged. He was furious to the extreme. Demon race remnant, how dare you kill the human race guardian and steal my human race seal? If I don't kill you 1,000 times, I won't be able to vent my anger. Tianzi roared towards the sky. A terrifying aura rose around him, causing the void to tremble violently. Then, it exploded with a loud bang. Terrifying chaotic light rose from his body. His black hair fluttered in the wind, and a monstrous murderous aura erupted from his body. What? The human race seal was stolen? Tianzi's words shocked the crowd. The human clan seal had always been regarded as the exclusive property of the Son of Heaven. If it weren't for certain reasons, he would have long seized the human clan seal and refined it. This era was the era of the human clan. If one could obtain the human clan mark, the chances of becoming the chosen one in the final battle for the creation would naturally increase greatly. Everyone agreed that no one was more suitable than the son of the celestial emperor to obtain the human race mark. But now, the Son of Heaven was saying that the human race seal was snatched away by the remnants of the demon race? In the holy city of the human race. Black demonic light surged, forming a huge boundary, enveloping a black-robed youth and a white-haired old man. The black-robed youth's black demonic saber pierced through the old man's chest. Terrifying dark demonic chi spread out from the old man's body. The old man's eyes were filled with disbelief and horror. At this moment, the black-robed young man slowly extended an arm and broke open the old man's chest. He then grabbed a pure white ancient seal from the old man's heart. You. How did you break the invincible barrier of the human race? I'm invincible. The old man let out an incomparably miserable cry. His eyes were filled with horror. The white-haired old man was naturally the guardian of the holy city of the human race. Today, an uninvited guest had come to the holy city of the human race. Not only had he defeated and taken control of the Guardian in an instant, he had even accurately found the location of the human race seal and cruelly dug it out from the Guardian's heart. Nothing is impossible because you're not the true Guardian of the human race. At best, you're just a servant of the human race seal. Let me tell you a secret. Actually, I'm also a human. The black-robed youth was tall and handsome. He had a sinister smile on his face. His eyes, in particular, contained a dark vortex that seemed to be able to devour all light. The black demonic saber in his hand lifted the guardian of the human race. His eyes were filled with surprise as he held the human race seal in his hand. I've finally obtained the human race seal. With the human race seal, the chances of my original body becoming the chosen one will be greatly increased. The black-robed youth muttered to himself. He was none other than Dark Soaring Cloud. After obtaining the inheritance of the sky-splitting centipede, Dark Soaring Cloud's cultivation had not only reached the third heaven in one fell swoop, but he had also learned many secrets of the chaotic ancient land. He had used an extremely strange method to dissolve the invincible power of the guardian of the human race and then snatched the human race seal from him. Without the human race seal, the guardian of the human race was just an ordinary sage. He was no match for Dark Soaring Cloud at all. You're a human. This is impossible. This is impossible. Who are you? The guardian of the human race shouted in horror. His eyes were filled with despair. He stared at Dark Soaring Cloud, his eyes filled with indignation and anger. He could feel the extremely dense dark demonic chi around Dark Soaring Cloud. This was the unique aura of the demon race. How could he be a human? He could not figure out that Dark Soaring Cloud was a clone of Dark Soaring Cloud. Childish. But before you die, I can fulfill your wish. I'm the Undying Prince. My true identity is the peerless genius of the Chinese race. Compared to me, the so-called Son of Heaven is not even worthy of carrying my shoes. Dark Soaring Cloud smiled evilly. Then, the dark demonic saber in his hands suddenly erupted with a terrifying light. In an instant, the guardian of the human race's body exploded into powder in the void. His soul had completely dissipated. TSK. I've saved my original body again. My original body is too weak now. I can't even defeat the Son of Heaven. If it weren't for the fact that I can't expose my identity, I would have wrung the Son of Heaven's head with my own hands. Dark Soaring Cloud muttered to himself in an indiscernible voice. Then, he turned into a demonic light and shot out of the human race's holy city. Behind him, a rain of blood and broken limbs were everywhere. He had killed all the enforcers in the human race's holy city. The reason why Dark Soaring Cloud had said those words before the guardian of the human race's death and even framed the Undying Prince was that he could sense that the Son of Heaven's soul was in the guardian of the human race. Although it was very hidden, it could not escape his perception at all. He wanted to know how furious the Son of Heaven would be when he found out that the human race seal had been snatched away. Chapter 2256. Tianzi was indeed furious. Through the divine clone he left in the guardian of the human race, he knew that the guardian of the human race was killed and the human race seal was snatched away. He could also vaguely sense the location of the evil demon race. The human race seal was his exclusive property. In his opinion, only he, the son of the Emperor of Heaven, was worthy of the human race seal. He was the only one chosen by Heaven. Now that the human race seal was snatched away, he was instantly infuriated. He no longer had any thoughts of tangling with Ling Xiao and the rest. He immediately wanted to leave this place and chase after the evil demon race. Did you succeed? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as a cold smile appeared on his lips. Tianzi was plotting against him, but how would Tianzi know that he was plotting against Tianzi as well? He and Darkness Ling Xiao were telepathic and had already planned to snatch the human race seal. This time, after Ling Xiao guessed that Tianzi might ambush him, he had already planned with Darkness Ling Xiao. While the human race's Saint City was empty, Darkness Ling Xiao killed his way into the human race's Saint City, quickly killed the guardian of the human race, snatched the human race seal, and left. Therefore, it was hard to say who was the Oriole in this ambush. Long Out Yen, I will spare your life today. If I find out that you are colluding with the demon race, even if you have 10 or 100 lives, I will kill you 10 or 100 times. Tianzi suddenly raised his head and looked coldly at Ling Xiao. He immediately kept the Heavenly Tao Emperor's sword and wanted to leave this place. Tianzi, didn't you want to kill me? Why are you leaving so soon? I also want to see just how strong the son of the Celestial Emperor is. Why don't we decide the victor today? Ling Xiao smiled faintly. The secret technique under his feet flashed, and in an instant, the void trembled slightly. He stood in front of Tianzi, blocking him. Wang! The good fortune jade disc floated above Ling Xiao's head like a bright full moon. It emitted a bright radiance, making Ling Xiao look ethereal and otherworldly. An unparalleled battle intent emanated from his body. You dare to stop me? Scram! Tianzi's eyes turned cold, and the heavenly Tao Emperor sword appeared in his palm. An ancient and mysterious aura was released, and the sword chi swept in all directions. In an instant, it slashed down towards Ling Xiao. He was so angry that he didn't want to stay here for even a moment longer. He wanted to return to the holy city of the human race immediately, hunt down that abominable demon, and take back the human race seal. Therefore, he was extremely ruthless in his attacks, forcing Ling Xiao away before leaving this place. Rumble. There was a glint in Ling Xiao's eyes. The jade plate of fate instantly gave off a brilliant brilliance. Rays of divine light rose up like divine chains of order. They interweaved into a huge net and went towards the heavenly Tao Emperor sword. Although the creation jade disc was incomplete, it was still a chaos treasure after all. At that moment, under Ling Xiao's full power, it unleashed an extremely powerful force and clashed with the heavenly Wei Emperor sword. The void shook violently. The good fortune jade disc looked crystal clear and flawless like the cold moonlight. When it collided with the heavenly Tao Emperor sword, a crisp sound erupted. The mysterious sound wave spread out, causing everyone in the surroundings to tremble violently. They couldn't help but retreat quickly. When the two treasures clashed, just the fluctuation alone was hard to resist. The creation jade disc annihilated all the sword chi of the heavenly Tao Emperor sword. In an instant, it clashed with the heavenly Tao Emperor sword in the void. Tianzi, take my punch. Ling Xiao's eyes were filled with sharpness as he roared and threw a punch at Tianzi. Roar! The dragon roar shook the heavens, causing the surrounding sky to tremble violently. Chaotic light rose around Ling Xiao. It was as though there was an immemorial ancestral dragon traversing the 9 heavens and charging towards Tianzi. After Ling Xiao's cultivation had broken through to the 3rd heaven realm, his physical body was extremely powerful. Even the secret skill of the ancestral dragon had reached the great perfection realm, allowing him to condense the ancestral dragon's body. At that moment, he unleashed his strongest combat strength. The ancestral dragon's body burst out majestically. The desolate dragon roar shook the 9 heavens and 10 lands, causing everyone's expression to change abruptly. Secret skill of the ancestral dragon. This is indeed the secret skill of the ancestral dragon. The 4 elders behind Long Xiao Xiao involuntarily exclaimed. Their expressions were incomparably solemn. Hee, 4 elders, am I right? Big brother also has the bloodline of our dragon clan. This secret skill of the ancestral dragon might be a peerless secret skill passed down from his bloodline. If we bring Big Brother back to the dragon clan, our father will definitely be happy. Long Xiao Xiao said with a childish voice. Her eyes were filled with excitement. To obtain the inheritance of the secret skill of the ancestral dragon, one must at least have the bloodline of the ancestral dragon. Could this Long Outyan really have the bloodline of our dragon clan? This matter is of great importance. After leaving the chaotic ancient land, we must immediately inform the patriarch. The 4 elders of the dragon clan looked at each other and said. No one knew the meaning of the ancestral dragon's bloodline better than them. Currently, only the patriarch and Long Xiao Xiao had the ancestral dragon's bloodline in the entire dragon clan. For the demon clan, the use of the bloodline was unimaginable. If one possessed the bloodline of the ancestral dragon in the dragon clan, one would have the hope of peering into the supreme god realm and becoming an existence comparable to the ancestral dragon of the primordial era. However, without the ancestral dragon's bloodline, the limit of cultivation was only the saint realm. Therefore, the ancestral dragon's bloodline was extremely useful to the dragon clan. With the ancestral dragon's bloodline, there was hope for them to become an emperor. Boom! In the face of Ling Xiao's ancestral dragon fist, a sharp light flashed in Tianzi's eyes. He also threw a punch at Ling Xiao. A mighty fist mark burst out and instantly pierced through the boundless chaos. It created a heaven and earth in the chaos and evolved into a myriad of creatures. Vaguely, Tianzi's body seemed to be surrounded by the myriad of worlds. When his fist landed, it could suppress billions of creatures and kill the gods and devils in the sky. The fist of the Heavenly Emperor. Ling Xiao's eyes flickered. He could feel the powerful fist intent. As the son of the Heavenly Emperor, Tianzi had indeed obtained the Heavenly Emperor's ultimate technique. His first move was the fist of the Heavenly Emperor that could suppress everything. The fist intent around Ling Xiao rose. In an instant, 3,000 ancient worlds appeared in the terrifying chaotic light. This caused the roar of a dragon to shake the heavens. The power of his fist reached its peak and suddenly collided with Tianzi's fist. Rumble. The void directly shattered. One world after another was annihilated. A terrifying divine light storm swept out in all directions and crushed everything. Although I don't know where you obtained the Heavenly Emperor's fist intent, don't use this kind of fist technique to embarrass yourself. Tianzi's indifferent voice resounded in the void. Rumble. His aura was like a rainbow. His fist mark was unparalleled. In an instant, it pierced through the chaos and broke through the storm. His fist directly pierced towards Ling Xiao's chest. Chapter 2257. The Heavenly Emperor's fist was the strongest fist technique created by the Heavenly Emperor. It was also known as the #1 fist technique in the world. At the beginning of the human race era, the Heavenly Emperor had even passed down the Heavenly Emperor's fist to many human race experts to cultivate. However, the Heavenly Emperor's fist was all-encompassing and mysterious. Furthermore, it required a high aptitude. Therefore, not many people were able to cultivate it successfully. Tianzi naturally received the most complete inheritance of the Sky Emperor's fist. He saw that although Ling Xiao's fist contained the fist intent of the Sky Emperor's fist, it was completely different from the real Sky Emperor's fist. That was why he mocked him. Is that so? The Heavenly Emperor's fist focuses on the intent and not the form. Once you understand the true intent of the Heavenly Emperor's fist, everyone can become a Heavenly Emperor. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. His expression was extremely calm. Boom! Tianzi's fist pierced through his chest. His body exploded into nothingness in the void. However, Tianzi's attack was only an afterimage. Ling Xiao's real body had already used the greater teleportation technique and disappeared from the spot. This technique was the true illusion technique of the greater teleportation technique. It was a well-tested technique that had fooled many people. Even sages could not tell where Ling Xiao's real body was. Boom! Ling Xiao's figure appeared above Tianzi's head. A terrifying aura rose around him. 3,000 great worlds appeared in the chaotic light. His fist pressed down as if 3,000 worlds had fallen at the same time. It contained an unparalleled power that could suppress everything. Preposterous! How dare you talk about the Heavenly Emperor's fist? Tianzi was a little angry. His eyes were cold, and the blood qi around him surged like the sea, containing a destructive power. He did not dodge or evade. Instead, he welcomed Ling Xiao's punch with a punch. Kacha! Blazing chaotic light exploded. Tianzi and Ling Xiao were like two ancient worlds colliding. They were annihilated at the same time. Boundless divine light gushed out as if it was the end of the world. Long Outyen, the Undying Prince has taken the human race seal. Yet, you're here to pester me. I see that you've colluded with the Undying Prince. Everyone has the right to kill the remnants of the demon race. Kill. Tianzi's eyes were filled with killing intent. As if he had thought of something, he roared and charged towards Ling Xiao. I colluded with the Undying Prince? What a joke. You purposely let the original prince and the Undying Prince go. How dare you call yourself the son of the Emperor? I see that you're the remnants of the demon race. Ling Xiao sneered, not to be outdone. Boom. 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 He and Tianzi clashed violently in the air, like two hurricanes intertwining and tangling with each other, containing terrifying energy fluctuations. The battle was extremely intense. Tian believed undying prince's emperor's seal. This was what Ling Xiao's goal. Naturally, he wouldn't admit that it was related to the loss of the human mark, but he still tried his best to stop Tianzi, wanting to buy enough time for darkness soaring cloud. Emperors as emperors, heavenly emperors as. Emperors marshal to kill emperor of the heaven emperor, to kill to marshal to the heaven to kill. The saints and sky prides of the 8 great saint lands looked at Ling Xiao coldly. They were filled with killing intent as they charged towards Ling Xiao. They were all Tianzi's followers. Naturally, they did not hesitate to attack. Whoever dares to touch junior brother Long will be my Pangu celestial body's enemy. Pangu celestial body roared. His eyes were filled with killing intent. An ancient battle axe appeared in his hand as he charged towards the crowd. Swoosh! Duguchobai looked indifferent, but his eyes were as sharp as a peerless divine sword. His entire body shot out like a sword radiance. Then, he unsheathed his divine sword and charged towards the crowd as if he was going to tear the world apart. Zhao Ritian, Old Goat, Jin Sei, Yap Liangchen, Long Xiao, and the others all attacked. Rumble. In the void, dozens of powerful figures were moving around. Terrifying divine light ripples burst out. Sword radiance filled the sky as powerful weapons swept across the sky, creating a terrifying divine light storm. This was a chaotic battle between peerless sky prides. It was like a rehearsal for the final battle. The terrifying power was like a destructive thunderbolt that wreaked havoc between the heavens and earth. Tianzi, on the other hand, was a little anxious. He could feel that the connection of that sliver of consciousness was getting weaker and weaker. If he didn't leave in time, he would really lose track of that demon powerhouse. The human race seal must be in his hands. For that, he was willing to pay any price. Ling Xiao's entanglement had infuriated Tianzi. He could not wait to kill Ling Xiao. However, he knew that Ling Xiao was extremely powerful. Even if he was confident that he could defeat Ling Xiao, it was not a battle that could be decided in a few moves. Especially Ling Xiao's creation jade disc. He was jealous but helpless at the same time. Long out Yen, I'll kill you one day. Tianzi's eyes were filled with killing intent. In an instant, he soared into the sky. His palms were filled with pure golden blood radiance. In an instant, terrifying energy ripples burst out like a tsunami. Whether it was the Heavenly Emperor's sword or the Celestial Emperor's war chariot, they burst out with dazzling light. Vast Emperor's aura intertwined in the sky. The power was terrifying to the extreme. Rumble. The Heavenly Way Emperor's sword swelled violently in the void. The sharp sword light broke through everything in an instant and slashed the jade plate of good fortune, breaking apart the power of origin of the great path that spread out from the jade plate of good fortune. The Heavenly Emperor's sword spewed out boundless sword radiance like a huge sword chi wall, blocking Ling Xiao and the others outside. Rumble. Everyone's attacks suddenly blasted on the sword chi wall. Even the good fortune jade disc soared into the sky and collided with the Heavenly Tao Emperor sword. However, the sword chi wall was stronger than expected. Although it was trembling violently, it eventually blocked everyone's attacks. Swoosh! The golden dragon and golden phoenix in front of the Celestial Emperor's war chariot seemed to have awakened. They burst out with terrifying energy ripples. They were ferocious and arrogant. Tianzi jumped onto the Celestial Emperor's war chariot. At the same time, the war chariot burst out with powerful devouring power and sucked all the saints and sky prides of the 8 great saint lands into the war chariot. Kacha! In the next moment, the Celestial Emperor's war chariot broke through the void and disappeared into the void. TSK. This is the so-called son of the Celestial Emperor. He ran away in such a sorry state. The old mountain goat laughed proudly. He's not running away. I'm afraid he's chasing after that demon race expert to take back the human race seal. But I'm afraid he's going to be disappointed. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. There was a hint of mockery in his eyes. Even if Tianzi rushed back to the human race's Saint City, he wouldn't be able to find Dark Ling Xiao. Tianzi was destined not to get the human race seal. Chapter 2258. Above the vault of heaven, the brilliant river of stars sprinkled down a resplendent radiance, dyeing the tranquil night into a dreamy color. Next to a clear lake, a bonfire burned brightly. Fireflies danced on the grass, illuminating everyone's faces. Huge demonic beast meat was being roasted over the bonfire. There were all kinds of delicacies, rare fruits, and a few jars of wine that had already been opened. A rich wine fragrance filled the air, causing everyone to feel intoxicated. Ling Xiao, Jin Sei, the old goat, Dugu Qiubai, Yi Liangchen, Zhao Ritian, and Long Xiao Xiao were casually sitting on the grass. Their expressions were very relaxed as they toasted with each other. Meeting old friends was always a wonderful thing, worthy of celebration and anticipation. After the battle with Tianzi, although that battle seemed to have a strong start and a weak finish, the danger still made everyone feel some lingering fear. Tianzi was definitely the son of the Heavenly Emperor. Not only did he have the Heavenly Emperor scripture, but he also had supreme treasures like the Heavenly Emperor sword and the Heavenly Emperor chariot. In the end, Tianzi was forced into a corner by Ling Xiao. Even the jade disc of fortune couldn't break through the sword energy wall formed by the Heavenly Emperor sword. Everyone had an incomparably direct understanding of Tianzi's strength. Brother Dugu, I didn't expect your life sword intent and destruction sword intent to reach this level after not seeing you for a few years. Congratulations. Ling Xiao touched his cup with Dugu Qiubai's and said with a tinge of emotion. He then drank his cup in one gulp. He could feel that Dugu Qiubai was only in the earth realm, but the life and destruction sword wills intertwined inside his body. They were beginning to condense into one, gradually nurturing a vast and mysterious origin of the great Tao. His foundation was incomparably strong. Dugu Qiubai was purposely suppressing his cultivation. Otherwise, he could break through to the heaven realm at any time and even become a saint. Ling Xiao, your improvement is the greatest. In just a few years, you have broken through the limit 3 times in a row. Many ancient geniuses are not as good as you. However, you must be careful of Tianzi. I feel that he is not simple. Dugu Qiubai slowly said with a sharp sword glint in his eyes. I was just lucky enough to obtain some opportunities. As for Tianzi, he gave me a very strange feeling. Although he used the Heavenly Emperor's fist earlier, I always felt that it was a bit stagnant and incomplete. It felt like it was forcefully grafted, very strange. Ling Xiao smiled. When he mentioned Tianzi, there was a strange look in his eyes. Weird? I didn't feel it, but I know that if that Tianzi didn't escape, he wouldn't be a match for me. It's a pity that Tianzi escaped too quickly. Otherwise, Liangchen wouldn't mind playing with him and letting him know my prowess. Yap Liangchen leaned his head forward and said drunkenly. You? What shameless boasting! Zhao Ritian sneered. There was a hint of disdain in his eyes. He did not know why he did not like Yi Liangchen. He felt that Yi Liangchen's arrogance made him unhappy. He seemed to see his own shadow in Yi Liangchen. What? I, Yi Liangchen, have the saint physique of misfortune. Do you believe that with a snap of my fingers, heaven will punish you and destroy your soul? Yap Liangchen stared at Zhao Ritian and said incoherently. Do you think that I, Zhao Ritian, will be scared? Saint physique of misfortune is nothing. I have the saint physique. I am protected by heaven and I am invincible. Even if you snap your fingers, I, Zhao Ritian, will still be unharmed. Zhao Ritian said with a proud smile. Oh. Zhao Ritian, how dare you act tough in front of me? Come, come, come. I will help my brother teach you a lesson today. Yap Liangchen stood up shakily with the wine glass in his hand and pointed at Zhao Ritian. Whoever doesn't dare to do it is a coward. Yap Liangchen, I will beat you up until your mother can't recognize you. Zhao Ritian said, not to be outdone. The two of them started to fight. Both of them were extremely prideful people. At this moment, it was like a needle meeting an awn. Neither of them was willing to back down. It was as if they were going to attack each other in a fight. Their faces were red and their necks were thick. It seemed like they were about to fight. Stop. Can the two of you stop for a moment? If you have the ability, go and fight with Tianzi. Why are you acting tough here? Go and drink your wine. Ling Xiao said with a bitter smile. He then pushed Yap Liangchen and Zhao Ritian down. These two fellows had drunk too much and were cursing incoherently. However, not long after, Ling Xiao saw these two fellows begin to put their arms around each other's shoulders. They looked even more intimate than real brothers, causing Ling Xiao to be dumbfounded. These two bastards are really birds of a feather. Ling Xiao said with a bitter smile. He decided to ignore them. Junior brother Long, according to the news that I have received, I am afraid that the chaos battlefield will open soon. When the time comes, countless elites from all over the universe will fight for the position of the chosen one. Although we all think highly of you, Tianzi is still your biggest enemy. You must be careful. Pangu Tiangang walked over with a wine jar and took a big gulp of wine. Then, he said to Ling Xiao seriously. His eyes were extremely bright. There will be a battle between Tianzi and me. I think it will be in the chaos battlefield. Don't worry, senior brother. If I meet Tianzi, I will do my best. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed with a sharp glint as a strong fighting spirit filled the air. Today's battle with Tianzi was only the first contact. Although Ling Xiao felt that Tianzi was strong, he was not afraid at all. He was even looking forward to the battle. He was confident that he was not weaker than anyone, even Tianzi. If you want to enter the chaos battlefield, you must obtain an ancient seal. The human seal is the most suitable for junior brother Long. Unfortunately, it has fallen into the hands of the demon race. Pangu Tiangang said with some regret. Not necessarily. Don't worry, senior brother. The human seal will be here soon. Ling Xiao said with a smile. He did not hide it from Pangu Tiangang and the rest. Everyone present was Ling Xiao's brothers and friends who had gone through thick and thin with him. They were all worthy of his trust. Therefore, he did not hide it from them. However, he did not mention the existence of Dark Ling Xiao. Oh. I guessed that the disappearance of the human seal must have something to do with you. I didn't expect it to be true. Pangu Tiangang's eyes lit up and he immediately laughed. With the human seal, the chosen one will definitely belong to Ling Xiao. The old goat said with a smile. He was very excited. Chapter 2259. Young Master Long, I have a presumptuous request. I hope young Master Long can agree to it. The four elders behind Long Xiaoxiao walked towards Ling Xiao, and one of them said with a sincere expression. Oh. What's the matter? Ling Xiao asked curiously. Young Master Long, you must have the ancestral dragon bloodline, right? I hope you can return to the dragon tribe with us after the chaotic ancient land. Although young Master Long is a human, you also have the dragon tribe's bloodline. You can be considered a member of the dragon tribe. I'm sure the Dragon King will be very happy to see you. The Dragon Tribe Elder said with a smile. Ancestral Dragon Bloodline? Elder, Long Outyen, should have the Ancestral Dragon Bloodline. When I have the chance, I will naturally make a trip to the Dragon Tribe. Ling Xiao said with a strange expression. How could he have the Ancestral Dragon Bloodline? He had indeed inherited the dragon tribe's bloodline from Long Han Yen, but it was only the true dragon bloodline at most. Moreover, he had half the human bloodline in his body, which was a little mixed. The reason why the dragon tribe elder thought he had the ancestral dragon bloodline was because he had cultivated the ancestral dragon's secret skill and formed the ancestral dragon's body. Strictly speaking, Ling Xiao did not have the true ancestral dragon's body because he only had the divine dragon's blood essence in his body and not the ancestral dragon's blood essence. With the ancestral dragon's blood essence as a guide, he could form the true ancestral dragon's body. However, Ling Xiao suddenly thought that his cousin, Long Outyen, might really have the ancestral dragon bloodline. He had such abnormal talent at such a young age. It was not something that could be explained by the true dragon bloodline or the divine dragon bloodline. Ling Xiao felt an aura similar to Long Outyen's from Long Xiaoxiao. It was the unique aura of the ancestral dragon bloodline. That's great. Thank you, young Master Long. We will wait for you in the dragon tribe. The dragon tribe elder heaved a sigh of relief and smiled. He did not understand the deeper meaning in Ling Xiao's words and thought that Ling Xiao had agreed to go to the dragon tribe. However, he did not know that Ling Xiao had only agreed on behalf of Long Outyen. Big brother, are you going to the dragon tribe? That's great. Long Xiaoxiao's eyes lit up as she cheered. Don't worry, I will definitely go. Ling Xiao said with a smile. Suddenly, Ling Xiao's eyes narrowed. The space before him shattered as a black streak of light pierced through it. A pure white ancient seal hung from it. It seemed ancient and mysterious. Ling Xiao instantly grabbed the ancient seal in his palm. Human seal. Ling Xiao's eyes lit up as he heaved a sigh of relief. In the end, dark soaring firmament still gave him the human race seal. However, he didn't sense any of dark soaring firmament's aura. This is the human clan seal. Dugu Qiubai, Pangu Tiangang, Yap Liangchen, Zhao Ritian, and the others had their eyes lit up. The human clan seal was indeed in Ling Xiao's hands. Ha ha ha. If that bastard Tianzi knows that the human race seal is in your hands, I'm afraid he'll vomit blood and die from anger. The old goat chuckled, his eyes filled with schadenfreude. Once you refine the human clan seal, you'll be able to inherit the destiny of the human race and become the hope of the human race. You'll be able to fight for the supreme position of the chosen one. Pangu Tiangang said slowly with a serious look. Let me try. The human clan seal has a spirit. I wonder if it will acknowledge me. Ling Xiao took a deep breath as he sent his powerful primordial spirit energy into the human clan seal. Rumble. The ancient seal trembled slightly as a vast and majestic spiritual energy burst out from it. Endless chaotic light rose, and an ancient and mysterious world seemed to appear within the ancient seal. As the aura of endless time passed, it was as if there was a scene of the human race struggling to survive, like ants struggling to survive. He saw the darkness of the human race in the beginning. They were reduced to food for the other races. There was no hope at all, only endless despair and humiliation. He saw the human race struggling to survive. They began to comprehend the heavens and earth. They began to learn from all living things in the heavens and earth. They even created powerful martial arts techniques and began to walk on the path of martial arts. He saw the human race fighting against the other races and challenging the gods and demons in order to prosper and not be bullied. They didn't even hesitate to shed blood in the sky, but they would still advance wave after wave. He saw the 9 thearchs of the human race. They were like 9 resplendent suns that lit up the path of the human race. They led the human race to conquer the other worlds, entered the central divine realm, and created a glorious era for the human race. The human tribe seal seemed to contain the history of the human tribe and the imprint of time. Although the memories scattered in the long river of time were scattered, they still radiated the brilliance of humanity. Every human who saw it would feel their blood boil and never forget the past. Only by remembering the past could one better create the future. Ling Xiao felt that the human clan seal was thousands of kilograms heavy. It carried the history of the human race, as well as the countless heroic spirits that had sacrificed themselves for it. Rumble. Ling Xiao's powerful primordial spirit surged into the human clan seal. He wanted to refine the human clan seal and completely control it. When he saw the scenes in the human clan seal, Ling Xiao felt a strong sense of identity and belonging. He felt proud to be a member of the human race. As long as he could refine the human clan seal, his chances of becoming the chosen one would be much higher than others. Just as Ling Xiao was about to refine the human clan seal in one go, the human clan seal suddenly trembled. An extremely powerful energy wave surged out of its body and bounced Ling Xiao's primordial spirit out as if it was unwilling to do so. What? Ling Xiao was stunned. He didn't expect the human clan seal to have such a change. It was as if it was extremely against being refined by him. It even rejected his primordial spirit. Buzz! At this moment, the human clan seal trembled slightly. It emitted an extremely dazzling light in the void, sprinkling down rays of beautiful light. It instantly soared into the sky and turned into a ray of light, flying towards Zhao Ritian. The human clan seal shone brilliantly, emitting an extremely human-like aura. It floated in front of Zhao Ritian like a puppy wagging its tail, eager to please its owner. Zhao Ritian was stunned. Everyone was stunned as well. Could it be that the human clan seal had become a spirit? Whoosh! While Zhao Ritian was still in a daze, the human race seal shot into Zhao Ritian's sea of consciousness between his eyebrows. Instantly, it fused with his primordial spirit and was automatically refined by Zhao Ritian. It was as though it was afraid that Zhao Ritian would not want it. Chapter 2260. Everyone was dumbfounded. This was a result that no one had expected. Just as Ling Xiao was about to refine the human race seal, the human race seal repelled Ling Xiao's primordial spirit. Then, it flew into Zhao Ritian's sea of consciousness at an extremely fast speed, allowing Zhao Ritian to refine it on its own. Ling Xiao stared at Zhao Ritian with his eyes wide open. He felt as though 10,000 divine beasts were galloping across his heart. Is this Zhao Ritian really the son of Tian Dao? What kind of luck is this? The old goat mumbled softly. This guy is not easy to deal with. To be able to make my saint body of misfortune lose its effect, this Zhao Ritian is indeed not an ordinary person. Yi Liangchen rubbed his chin and said. He had sobered up a little. Cough cough. Ling Xiao, would you believe me if I told you that I didn't want to do this? Zhao Ritian coughed awkwardly. His face was filled with helplessness. He was also confused. He thought that Ling Xiao was about to become the guardian of the human race. Who would have thought that the human race seal would fly into his mind? Second master, this isn't your doing, is it? Zhao Ritian thought of something and asked in his heart. Hee, aren't you thankful to me? Ling Xiao has taken all the benefits. It's more suitable to give the human race seal to you. It should be yours in the first place. The second elder chuckled. His voice was a little despicable, causing Zhao Ritian to be taken aback. Was it really second master's doing? Do you think we'll believe you? Zhao Ritian, I think you did it on purpose. Hurry up and hand over the human race seal. You stole your brother's treasure. Are you still human? The old goat glared at Zhao Ritian and said. I really didn't do it. This damned human race seal, it won't come out. Zhao Ritian smiled bitterly. He would not be able to clear his name even if he jumped into the Yellow River. He was going to be the scapegoat for this. Hearing second master's despicable laughter, Zhao Ritian gritted his teeth. He wanted to grab second master and beat him up. All right. I believe that he didn't do it on purpose. Perhaps the human tribe seal is really fated with him. Ling Xiao's expression was incomparably calm. He was not angry, but there was a strange look in his eyes. He could feel the human race seal's rejection towards him, its closeness and reliance towards Zhao Ritian. This wasn't because Zhao Ritian had done anything, it was because the human race seal had chosen Zhao Ritian. While Ling Xiao was amazed by Zhao Ritian's heaven-defying luck, he was even more curious about Zhao Ritian's identity. Just what kind of background did this guy have? Ling Xiao, my good brother, you know me best. Zhao Ritian's face was filled with gratitude. He wanted to hug Ling Xiao and give him a few kisses. Cut the crap. Zhao Ritian, you snatched Ling Xiao's human race mark. Are you going to send him off just like that? Quickly take out some treasures to compensate Ling Xiao. The old goat said. However, he was just teasing Zhao Ritian. He did not really want Zhao Ritian to compensate him. After all, if it wasn't for Zhao Ritian and his Emperor Yan Cauldron, Ling Xiao and the rest would have been in big trouble. This kind of life-saving grace was not something that could be compared to a mere human race seal. When Zhao Ritian heard the old goat's words, he seemed to have thought of something. His eyes lit up and he said, "Of course, I should compensate him. Come, come, come. These ancient seals were all plundered by me. Don't be shy, everyone can have one." As he spoke, a light flashed in Zhao Ritian's palm. Instantly, more than 10 dazzling, crystal-clear ancient seals floated in the void. Those ancient seals were colorful and all of them exuded an ancient and mysterious aura. Zhao Ritian had a heroic look on his face as he pushed the dozens of ancient seals in front of everyone. This time, everyone was stunned. These are the ancient seals of the various holy cities. How did you get so many ancient seals? Don't tell me you killed more than 10 holy city guardians. Ling Xiao stared at Zhao Ritian with his eyes wide open. Even he was shocked by Zhao Ritian's extravagance. More than 10 ancient seals floated in the void, emitting a dazzling light. It was so bright that everyone could not open their eyes. Everyone could not bear to look away. These were the ancient seals of the holy cities. One should know that there were only 108 holy cities in the entire chaotic ancient land. There were a total of 108 ancient seals. Only by refining an ancient seal and becoming a holy city guardian could one enter the chaotic battlefield. The competition for ancient seals was extremely intense now. Most of the ancient seals already had owners. It was extremely difficult to obtain an ancient seal. However, Zhao Ritian had actually thrown out more than 10 ancient seals, causing everyone to be dumbfounded. This is really blinding. Zhao Ritian, are these the ancient seals you obtained? How did you do it? The old goat asked curiously as he looked at Zhao Ritian. Hee. It's very simple. When I was in the chaotic ancient land, I accidentally exposed the Flame Emperor Cauldron. Those ignorant old men wanted to snatch the Flame Emperor Cauldron from me because they had the ancient seals. In the end, they were all killed by me. Naturally, the ancient seals became mine. The more people I killed, the more ancient seals I got. Those bastards even said that I created Chaos City. That's utter nonsense. If it weren't for the greed of those guardians, would I have killed so many of them? However, those guys were really weak. They couldn't even take a hit from the Flame Emperor Cauldron. They were crushed into meat paste. Zhao Ritian said proudly. He did not hesitate to talk about his glorious history. Everyone could not help but twitch their lips. Those guardians were just ordinary sages. Moreover, they had not completely refined the power of the ancient seals. How could they block an Apex Emperor weapon? This guy was too shameless. Zhao Ritian, are you really willing to give these ancient seals to everyone? Then we won't hold back. Ling Xiao said with a smile. You're welcome. These ancient seals are of no use to me at all. I'll give them to everyone. Zhao Ritian waved his hand and said generously. You're really a tycoon. Ling Xiao said with a smile. He did not hold back and began to distribute the ancient seals to everyone. Other than Daoist Wu Yang and a few others who had ancient seals, most of them had yet to obtain one. Initially, everyone was still worrying about how to obtain an ancient seal and enter the primal chaos battlefield. They did not expect Zhao Ritian to deliver so many ancient seals to everyone. Immediately, everyone chose the holy city ancient seal that they liked. A powerful aura exploded from their bodies. They poured the power of their primordial spirits into the ancient seals and sat down to refine them. What ancient seal is this? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed, and his gaze landed on a gray ancient seal. Chapter 2261. The gray ancient seal looked very ordinary. It was blurry and inconspicuous. However, Ling Xiao could feel the fluctuations of time from it. It was extremely weak and mottled. Ling Xiao was attracted to the gray ancient seal at first glance because he felt a familiar and intimate aura from it. Zhao Ritian, where did you get this ancient seal? Ling Xiao grabbed the gray ancient seal. It was cold to the touch and looked like a hard rock. It did not have any energy fluctuations unique to ancient seals. Are you talking about this thing? This was given to me by a crazy old Taoist. He said that this ancient seal was the most powerful ancient seal, but there was no way to refine it. I suspect that old man was lying to me. You don't need to care about this broken thing. This is the Spirit Clan seal, the most powerful ancient seal. You should refine this Spirit Clan seal. Zhao Ritian glanced at the gray ancient seal in Ling Xiao's hand and pursed his lips. Then, he picked up a 5-colored ancient seal that was shrouded in spiritual light and auspicious vapor and handed it to Ling Xiao. The Spirit Clan was also one of the strongest clans in the myriad worlds. They had an extremely deep foundation and the power of destiny contained in the human clan seal was naturally extremely strong. Zhao Ritian still felt bad for snatching Ling Xiao's human clan seal. Therefore, he wanted to compensate Ling Xiao with the Spirit Clan seal. No need. Let me try this ancient seal first. Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat as he smiled. The origin of the gray ancient seal was indeed strange. This aroused Ling Xiao's curiosity. Furthermore, he instinctively felt that this ancient seal was not ordinary. Perhaps there were some secrets hidden within it. Buzz! Ling Xiao grabbed the gray ancient seal and a bright light shone from between his eyebrows. A powerful primordial spirit energy surged out and enveloped the gray ancient seal. He could easily check the interior of the gray ancient seal. It was an extremely ordinary ancient seal that was carved out of some kind of stone. Although it was extremely strong, Ling Xiao could not feel any power of destiny from it. The ancient seals of the 108 holy cities contained the destiny of the 108 powerful clans in the myriad worlds. Obtaining an ancient seal would allow one to be protected by the destiny of that clan. However, there was nothing in the ancient gray seal, which made Ling Xiao feel a little strange. You don't have to waste your energy. I've already checked it many times. This ancient seal is just an ordinary rock. Zhao Ritian advised. Zhao Ritian was not the only one who had checked the ancient seal many times. Even the second uncle had entered the ancient seal but to no avail. That was why Zhao Ritian was certain that the ancient seal was very ordinary. Ling Xiao carefully checked a few more times, but still found nothing. Just when Ling Xiao was about to give up, the fortune jade disc in his sea of consciousness suddenly trembled. It gave off a powerful presence of origin energy, which shot out of Ling Xiao's forehead like chains of order before fusing with the gray seal. This change was beyond Ling Xiao's expectations. Rumble. In an instant, endless chaotic light gushed out from the ancient gray seal. It was as if the world was being created. Endless light illuminated the dark sky. The origin of the great path intertwined, evolving into yin and yang and the 5 elements. It was as if an ancient and mysterious world was being slowly opened up. A desolate and vigorous aura gushed out from the ancient seal. Ling Xiao's music could be seen from the ancient seal. When the world was being created, countless chaotic divine demons emerged from the chaos. Every divine demon had terrifying power that could destroy the world. They were omnipotent. They all had the same name. The God Tribe. That's right. Since the world was being created, the first innate race that was born in the world lock was the God Tribe. Legend had it that the myriad worlds was originally a huge world. However, due to the countless battles between the divine demons, the myriad worlds were pierced through and gradually evolved into the myriad worlds. The reason why the God Realm was the center of the myriad worlds was because it was formed from the largest fragment. It even buried countless chaotic divine demons and buried the fate of the entire God Tribe. Since the world was being created, the first era of the God Tribe was the era of the God Tribe. However, the era of the God Tribe was so far away that many people had forgotten about the era of the God Tribe and the origin of the God Realm. They had also forgotten the original appearance of the myriad worlds. In the past, Ling Xiao could only read a few words from the ancient records. But now, Ling Xiao saw the primal chaos splitting open, the ancient continent of the divine realm, countless chaotic divine demons, the terrifying existences of the antiquity times, the great war between the chaotic divine demons, the most glorious moment of the divine race's epoch, and the destruction of the divine race's epoch, with the good fortune jade disc as a guide. The gray ancient seal actually reproduced the scene of the divine race era. Ling Xiao also saw the vast and terrifying fate of the divine race. Even though countless years had passed, it was still vast and powerful. After all, the God tribe was a powerful race born from heaven and earth. Those chaotic divine demons would at least possess the power of a god when they were born. An adult chaotic divine demon could reach the cultivation level of a saint. The strongest among them would be saint kings and imperial emperors. Their talents were extremely heaven-defying. Whether it was the demon tribe, the human tribe, or the other powerful races in the myriad worlds, they were just races that were gradually formed. There was no way they could compare with the innate God tribe. Even if some races called themselves the God tribe, they were just putting gold on their faces. The true God tribe was the most powerful existence since the creation of the world. No other race could be compared to them. Rumble. Ling Xiao saw countless chaotic divine demons fighting in the sky. Blood was spilled, and the God tribe's continent was sunk into countless fragments. The corpses of the chaotic divine demons gradually gathered together, forming a vast and ancient battlefield. Evil chi intertwined and chaotic light filled the air. It floated in the endless void, waiting for something. So, this ancient seal is the God tribe seal? Ling Xiao was shocked and thought to himself. He felt that he had discovered an incredible secret. Especially when he saw the countless chaotic divine demons' corpses gathering together to form a huge ancient battlefield, he was secretly shocked. Wang! The God tribe seal emitted a gray chaotic light. It looked ancient and mysterious, flowing with the vicissitudes of time. It was as if an ancient and vast illusory world had appeared. Chapter 2262. Rumble. Just as Ling Xiao was refining the God clan mark, a terrifying aura suddenly erupted in the sky above the chaotic ancient land. Above the sky, endless chaotic light rose and an ancient battlefield emerged. It was filled with boundless evil aura. It looked ancient and mottled, as if it had gone through countless years. It exuded a majestic aura. When everyone saw this ancient battlefield, they felt their bodies tremble. They felt an incomparably palpitating aura. It was as if there were gods and demons pouncing on the crowd. They were filled with dense bloody light and murderous intent. Even those with a strong will turned pale and felt a great pressure. That's the chaotic battlefield. Old Goat exclaimed. He seemed to have thought of something and his eyes were filled with excitement. The demon clan mark between his eyebrows glowed faintly and formed a mysterious connection with the ancient battlefield above his head. He instantly understood that this ancient battlefield was the legendary chaotic battlefield. Has the chaotic battlefield finally opened? Dugu Qiubai, Pangu Tiangang, and the others opened their eyes. Their eyes were filled with anticipation. Everyone was waiting for this day. They were waiting for the appearance of the ultimate creation. In the chaotic battlefield, other than the appearance of the Chosen One, the most important thing was the endless creation that could increase one's strength by leaps and bounds. They did not expect the opening of the chaotic battlefield to be so sudden. They did not even have the time to prepare before the chaotic battlefield opened. This time, it's all thanks to Zhao Ritian's ancient seal. Otherwise, we could only watch as the chaotic battlefield opens. There's nothing we can do. Daoist Wu Yang glanced at Zhao Ritian and said. Everyone nodded in agreement. Zhao Ritian's ancient seals were like charcoal in a snowy weather. Almost everyone had an ancient seal in their hands, which gave them the qualifications to enter the primal chaos battlefield. Don't mention it. I feel that the opening of the chaotic battlefield is too strange. I thought it would take a while for it to open. Zhao Ritian waved his hand and said with a strange look in his eyes. According to what everyone knew, when the Chaos Battlefield opened, the Ancient Seal's power would be stimulated to the extreme, and it would form a response that could take the host into the Chaos Battlefield. But now, the Chaos Battlefield had appeared out of nowhere before everyone's Ancient Seals could react to it. Who cares? The Chaos Battlefield has appeared. This time, perhaps we can all become saints in the Chaos Battlefield. The opportunities in the Chaos Battlefield are destined to belong to our human tribe. Yap Liangchen said eagerly. Ling Xiao actually refined the gray ancient seal. Zhao Ritian glanced at Ling Xiao from the corner of his eyes and exclaimed in surprise. He clearly felt that the gray ancient seal in Ling Xiao's hand was impossible to refine. But now, Ling Xiao actually managed to refine it. Even the second uncle in Zhao Ritian's body felt a little incredulous. Perhaps, that gray ancient seal really does contain some secrets. Second eldest uncle said thoughtfully. News of the opening of the Primal Chaos Battlefield instantly spread throughout the entire Primal Chaos ancient land. All the supreme talents who had obtained the ancient seals were eager to enter the Chaos Battlefield. They were looking forward to entering the Chaos Battlefield and starting a great battle. Those geniuses who did not obtain the ancient seals also sped up their efforts to snatch the ancient seals. News of the guardians of the sacred city being killed constantly spread. At the same time, new guardians were born. The entire Primal Chaos ancient land was in an uproar because of the opening of the Chaos Battlefield. Rumble. The Chaos Battlefield above the void was illusory in the beginning. However, as time passed, the Chaos Battlefield became more and more real. Everyone could even see the stone pillars around the Chaos Battlefield. There were strange runes on the pillars that looked like divine runes from the ancient times. They contained vast Great Tao rules, making the entire Chaos Battlefield indestructible. There were many mysterious scenes engraved on the Chaos Battlefield. It looked like an endless war between chaotic gods and demons. It also looked like the powerful races of the universe were fighting for supremacy. Those scenes were enshrouded in chaotic chi, as if they were coming alive. It was extremely mysterious. At the same time, those who had refined the ancient seals could feel a surge of power awakening in the ancient seals. It contained a vast amount of destiny power, and its connection with the Chaos Battlefield became closer. The Chaos Battlefield opened so soon. Damn it! The Undying Prince and Long Outyen, I will not let you go. In the human tribe's Saint City, the Son of Heaven sat cross-legged on the Celestial Emperor's chariot. The aura around him was turbulent and terrifying, and his eyes were filled with killing intent. When he returned to the human tribe's Saint City and was about to chase after the consciousness of the demon tribe, he found that the consciousness of the demon tribe's primordial spirit had already disappeared. Now that the Chaos Battlefield had opened, he was furious, but there was nothing he could do. He could only take out an ancient seal that he had prepared in advance and quickly refined it. However, one could imagine the anger and killing intent in his heart. Many of the Sky Prides opened their eyes and woke up from their secluded cultivation. Their eyes were filled with strong fighting spirit and anticipation. The Chaos Battlefield has finally opened. This time, I, Wu Tian, am destined to become the chosen one and create the sorcerer tribe's opportunity. A burly man with bulging muscles suddenly rushed out from a mountain and blasted it into smithereens. He was wearing beast skin and his aura was wild and ancient. His eyes were filled with a wild light. He held a huge saber in his hand and roared at the sky. Instantly, he shot up into the sky and flew toward the Chaos Battlefield. The rise of the Nether tribe is today. Those who stand in my way shall die. A young man in a black robe soared into the sky from the endless black lake of deathly aura. His aura was cold and evil, and he looked like a ghost. There were ghost flames dancing in his eyes. He looked at the Chaos Battlefield in the void and said eerily. Light flashed around him and he instantly disappeared into the void. The ghost tribe will rise, and I, Gueju, will be the chosen one. In a valley that was shrouded in ghostly aura, the void rippled like water as a cold voice slowly sounded. A young man with a pale face walked out from a black palace. His aura was unfathomable. He looked like he was completely dead. The deathly aura around him filled the air, but there was a trace of vitality in it, making him look like a living dead. Chapter 2263. Ling Xiao was immersed in the mysterious world of the deity clan seal and was unaware of what was happening outside. There were wisps of golden air currents in the deity clan seal. They looked mysterious as though they contained the ancient history of the deity clan. The golden air currents could not be touched, but they were real. It was as though one could see the rise and fall of the deity clan and see the changes in the world through them. Is this the fate of the deity clan? Ling Xiao thought to himself as his heart skipped a beat. The 108 ancient seals in the 108 holy cities contained the karmic luck of 108 powerful races. They also represented the 108 epic lords of the past. Refining an ancient seal would not only grant one the qualifications to enter the primal chaos battlefield, but it would also grant one the karmic luck of a powerful race, giving one the power to be invincible. Ling Xiao could almost instantly confirm that the golden air currents were the fate of the deity clan. Ling Xiao's soul slowly floated up. His entire body shone with a resplendent light. He wanted to absorb the fates of the divine race. Ling Xiao felt an inexplicable desire. It was as if the fates of the divine race were extremely important to him. Buzz! The golden fate of the deity clan bloomed in the void like dazzling starlight when it sensed Ling Xiao's primordial spirit. It slowly integrated into Ling Xiao's primordial spirit. Ling Xiao's primordial spirit gave off a dazzling golden glow. It was as though his entire body was made of gold. It was crystal clear and gave off an ancient and mysterious aura. Under the scouring of the fate of the deity clan, Ling Xiao's primordial spirit gradually shrank. His primordial spirit, which was already 10 feet tall, shrank rapidly to the size of a palm. It was like a small golden person with a face identical to Ling Xiao's. It was extremely clear and had a faint smile. At the same time, it gave off an inexplicable majestic aura. Ling Xiao could feel that his primordial spirit instantly filled the entire world of the deity clan seal and enveloped the ancient and mysterious battlefield. Ling Xiao could clearly see that the ancient battlefield formed by countless chaotic divine demons was extremely sturdy. There were runes circling around it and divine chains of order intertwined. It also gave off a powerful murderous aura and battle intent. If an ordinary person dared to enter the battlefield rashly, their consciousness would be erased by the murderous aura and they would become a muddle-headed zombie. What's that? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He actually saw a few figures appear on the battlefield. All of them had ancient seals floating above their heads. They contained a powerful force of fate and their auras were extremely powerful. Could this battlefield be the chaos battlefield? Ling Xiao's heart trembled, and a strange look appeared in his eyes. Then, he slowly woke up from that strange state. Ling Xiao, are you alright? Ling Xiao had just woken up when he saw the concerned faces of Old Goat and the others. His eyes were filled with joy. It was because Ling Xiao had spent too much time refining the ancient seal. A few days had passed, but Ling Xiao still looked like he had passed away. There was no energy fluctuation in his body. Old Goat and the others almost couldn't help but wake Ling Xiao up. I'm fine. Is that the chaos battlefield? Ling Xiao shook his head. Suddenly, he saw the ancient battlefield in the sky, and he could not help but shudder. His expression became even stranger. This was because the primal chaos battlefield was exactly the same as the one in the God Clan seal. Could it be that the chaos battlefield originally existed in the God Clan seal? Ling Xiao suddenly felt that he had obtained an incredible treasure. That's right. The chaos battlefield has opened while you were in seclusion. Speaking of which, what ancient seal did you refine? Why did you take so long? Let's go quickly. If we're late, the opportunity will fall into the hands of others. Zhao Ritian looked at Ling Xiao curiously. Then, his tone changed, and his voice became very urgent. I refined the God Clan seal. When the chaos battlefield opens, do you know how to obtain the opportunity? Do you know how to become the chosen one? Ling Xiao looked at Zhao Ritian and asked. don't you know? Feel your ancient seal. There should be information on it. However, this time, I won't hold back. Ling Xiao, if you end up in my hands, I'll defeat you completely. Zhao Ritian chuckled. His eyes were filled with a strong fighting spirit. He automatically ignored the God Clan's seal that Ling Xiao mentioned. In his opinion, even if Ling Xiao's ancient seal was not bad, it could not be as strong as a human's clan seal. This was because this era was the era of the human race, and the fate of the human race was the strongest. Battle of Fate. Only by obtaining all the power of fate can one become the chosen one. Ling Xiao carefully felt the aura of the God Clan seal. Indeed, he found a message from it. Only then did he discover the rules of the Chaos Battlefield. The rule of the Chaos Battlefield was that there were no rules. There was only one way to become the chosen one, and that was to completely defeat the 108 Supreme Sky Prides, seize the fate in their ancient seals, and merge it into one. Only then would one become the chosen one. It could be said that once one entered the Chaos Battlefield, it was decided that one would have to fight a bloody battle. The Chaos Battlefield was filled with dangers. Not only were there 108 Supreme Sky Prides, but there were also fighting spirits and powerful beasts that had fallen here. Once one entered the Chaos Battlefield, one would not only have to deal with sneak attacks from other Sky Prides, but also have to guard against those fighting spirits and beasts. All in all, once one entered the Chaos Battlefield, most people were destined to be eliminated. Only one person would be the chosen one. However, there were also many opportunities in the Chaos Battlefield. If one could obtain those opportunities, even if one did not become the chosen one, it would be a worthwhile trip. Therefore, everyone was eager to enter the Chaos Battlefield. Everyone, please be careful. Other than the powerful geniuses of other races, there are many dangers in the Chaos Battlefield. Most importantly, I feel that this time, we will be randomly teleported into the Chaos Battlefield. Everyone will not be together, so we have to be more careful of the enemy's sneak attacks. Pangu Tiangang said slowly, his voice extremely solemn. That's right. In the Chaos Battlefield, there are opportunities and inheritances left behind by various races. The fight for the inheritances will be the most intense. Moreover, in the Chaos Battlefield, we can't use extreme Dao Emperor weapons. This is good news for us. Let's hope that everyone can gain something this time. Ling Xiao nodded and said. Hee, then what are we waiting for? Let's go. Zhao Ritian chuckled and said. His eyes were filled with eagerness. He took the lead and leaped into the sky. The human seal above his head shone with dazzling light and wrapped him up. In an instant, he plunged into the Chaos Battlefield. Swoosh! 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 Yi Liangshan followed closely behind, followed by the old goat, Taoist Wu Yang, and the rest. All of them unleashed the power of the ancient seal and flew into the Chaos Battlefield. Jin Sei, be careful. I will meet up with you as soon as possible. Ling Xiao looked at Jin Sei and said with a smile. All right. You, too. Jin Sei nodded faintly and said with some hesitation. Then, she leaped into the sky and entered the Chaos Battlefield without looking back. Chapter 2264. Is this the Chaos Battlefield? Ling Xiao's eyes were filled with a strange look. Under the guidance of the God Clan seal, the sky was filled with dazzling light. It was as though layers of space had shattered and Ling Xiao had arrived in a foreign land. As he had expected, the Chaos Battlefield was randomly teleported. Old Goat and the rest had completely disappeared and he was the only one left. This was an ancient land and chaotic fog filled the air. He could vaguely see mountains in the distance. Ling Xiao's primordial spirit could not sense the entire Chaos Battlefield. Previously, the Chaos Battlefield was floating in the sky and it looked like a small continent. However, after entering it, Ling Xiao realized that the Chaos Battlefield was extremely vast and it was like an ancient world. However, the Chaos Battlefield was filled with ominous aura and chaotic currents intertwined. It contained an extremely chaotic energy fluctuation. If one was not careful, one could be turned into dust. Moreover, the chaos battlefield was filled with a strange energy fluctuation that made one's blood boil and battle intense surge. It was as though one could not help but find someone to fight. The God Clan seal floated above Ling Xiao's head and it was filled with strands of golden air current. They intertwined with each other and it was like a golden sun that shone brightly. That was the fate of the God Clan. It floated above Ling Xiao's head and it isolated the ominous aura in the chaos battlefield. It made Ling Xiao feel invulnerable. I have to find Jin Sei and the rest as soon as possible. Although I can't use extreme Dao Emperor weapons in the chaos battlefield, Tianzi and the rest are not to be underestimated. If I encounter Tianzi, Jin Sei, and the rest will be in danger. Ling Xiao thought to himself. He sank his primordial spirit into the God Clan seal and the powerful primordial spirit power spread out and covered the entire world in the God Clan seal. In an instant, Ling Xiao felt that the entire world had become clear. The ancient battlefield in front of him was actually revealed to him with incomparable clarity. It is indeed the chaos battlefield. Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of understanding, and his heart was also stirred up. The chaotic battlefield in front of him was indeed within the Shin clan mark. Although he did not know what kind of state he was in, his primordial spirit sensed that the entire chaotic battlefield was within his perception. Ling Xiao could sense that 108 powerful auras were floating in the chaos battlefield like 108 stars. They were all looking for something in the chaos battlefield with strong chi fates above their heads. Why were the colors of the providence above their heads different? Could it be that it represents the strength of one's luck? Ling Xiao thought to himself as his heart skipped a beat. He could sense that among the 108 powerful auras, most of them had white fates. Only a dozen of them had silver fates. As for the golden fates, other than him, there was only one. Unfortunately, although Ling Xiao could sense the location of the 108 auras, they all had ancient seals to conceal their cultivation fluctuations. Ling Xiao had no way to distinguish their true identities. That golden light should belong to Zhao Ritian, right? Ling Xiao thought to himself. The owner of the golden fates was the furthest away from him. However, Ling Xiao immediately thought of Zhao Ritian. Perhaps only the human tribe, who was the epic master, could have such powerful fates. White, silver, and gold were the three grades of fates that Ling Xiao knew so far. Ling Xiao did not know the specific uses of the various fates. To be able to sense the location of 108 heaven's prides is simply cheating. I wonder what kind of existence the Shin clan mark is. Even the chaos ancient land is hidden within it. Ling Xiao thought to himself. At the same time, he was filled with confidence. Being able to sense the positions of the other 107 geniuses meant that Ling Xiao had the upper hand. He would be able to defeat those people one by one and eventually sweep through the crowd, becoming the only heaven's chosen son. This was an irresistible temptation to anyone. In that case, I shall kill them one by one. I will definitely find Jin Sei and the rest. I can also take this opportunity to eliminate the rest and weaken the Son of Heaven's power. Ling Xiao's eyes glinted as he took the lead and charged towards the supreme talent closest to him. It was a white fates. It was only a few thousand miles away from Ling Xiao. To Ling Xiao, it arrived in a matter of seconds. It's actually a relic. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He saw an extremely ancient and dilapidated building complex in front of him. Although it contained the mottled aura of time, he could still vaguely see the power and grandeur of the past. There were still powerful and profound formation runes left on the walls. As for that figure, it was located in the middle of the buildings. Ling Xiao strode towards the building complex. His expression was extremely calm. Sensing the silence around him, he felt an inexplicable sense of danger. The surrounding void was slightly distorted. Black divine chains of order stretched out from the void, silently wrapping around Ling Xiao's body. Have I been discovered? Ling Xiao's eyes moved. He took a step forward and instantly appeared tens of thousands of feet away, entering the ancient building complex. Rumble. In an instant, the lightning around him blazed and the world shook. An extremely powerful formation fluctuation exploded, containing the power to destroy everything. It was about to pounce towards Ling Xiao at any time. Hee, you're really lucky. I've just set up my trap, and someone actually dares to barge in. An extremely cold voice rang out in the void. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he saw a young man in a black robe slowly emerging from the black thunderbolts. The aura around him was extremely powerful, and he had a handsome face. His figure was tall and majestic, and his purple hair danced in the wind. His entire body exuded a powerful thunderbolt origin energy. In particular, there was a purple lightning mark between his eyebrows, which added a bit of majesty and mystery to him. You're from the Thunder Clan. When Ling Xiao saw the black-robed young man, he didn't seem surprised at all. He instantly recognized the young man's origin. He had an earth realm cultivation, and his aura was sharp and domineering. The white fates above his head seemed to be able to trigger the might of heaven and earth with every move he made. It was extremely terrifying. Based on the black-robed young man's appearance and aura, Ling Xiao instantly recognized that he was from the ancient Thunder Clan. Chapter 2265. Lei Zhuo was the most outstanding genius of his generation in the Lei clan. The Lei clan was the ruler of the Thunder world. Legend had it that countless eras ago, the Lei clan was the ruler of an era. At that time, the Lei clan had a brilliant great emperor named the Thunder Punishment Great Emperor. He swept across the myriad of worlds and led the Lei clan to the peak. That was the most glorious time of the Lei clan. Legend had it that the Tian Fa secret technique had a mysterious connection with the Thunder Punishment Great Emperor. However, the current Lei clan was no longer as strong as before. After so many years, no great emperor was born. They could only hole up in the Thunder world. Lei Zhuo grew up listening to the past glory of the Lei clan and the deeds of the Thunder Punishment Great Emperor. He swore to become the hope of the Lei clan, to strive for the position of Great Emperor, and to break the curse of the Lei clan. Therefore, Lei Zhuo had come to this ancient land of primal chaos with great ambition. Not only had he obtained many opportunities, but he'd also broken through the limit twice to reach the Earth realm. He'd also obtained the Lightning Clan's seal and the Lightning Clan's destiny, allowing him to reach the final battlefield of primal chaos. Lei Zhuo was confident that as long as he was given another chance to break the limit for the third time, he would be able to unleash the unparalleled battle prowess of the Lei clan. He would sweep through the crowd and seize the position of Heaven's Chosen One. He didn't expect that the first person he would meet would be Ling Xiao. Although Lei Zhuo had heard of Ling Xiao's deeds, he had never seen him before. Therefore, he didn't recognize him. Instead, he wanted to use the method he left behind in the ruins to kill his first opponent and seize his fate. You want to kill me? This ruin contains rich lightning origin energy. I'm afraid there's a lightning treasure, right? Furthermore, that treasure should have already fallen into your hands. If you're willing to give it to me, I might spare your life. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. His expression was calm and indifferent as if he didn't care about the blazing lightning killing intent in the surroundings. Ling Xiao could feel the rich lightning origin energy in the ruins. Lei Zhuo's body also had the fluctuation of a treasure. Ling Xiao's incomparably sharp senses detected it. Spare my life? You really don't know what's good for you. Since that's the case, I'll take your fate and your life. Lei Zhuo said domineeringly. His eyes were incomparably cold. Lightning surged around his body and an icy killing intent spread out from his body. Even though Lei Zhuo couldn't see through Ling Xiao's cultivation, he had great confidence in himself. Especially with the treasure he obtained from the ruins, he believed that no one would be able to withstand his wrath. Moreover, the golden fate above Ling Xiao's head made his heart burn. Although he didn't know the level of fate, he could feel that Ling Xiao's golden fate was unimaginably attractive to him. Really? Then let me have a taste of the Thunder Clan's absolute art. Ling Xiao smiled faintly as a sharp glint appeared in his eyes. He also knew that the Heaven Punishment secret skill had a very mysterious relationship with the Thunder Clan. Legend had it that the Thunder Emperor of the human clan had once cultivated the supreme unique skill of the Thunder Clan. That was how he created the Thunder Emperor scripture that shook the heavens. Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. Lei Zhuo's face darkened. Blazing lightning surged around his body, containing a terrifying destructive force. Lei Zhuo pulled his hands together and a black lightning spear appeared in his palms. The spear radiance intertwined with terrifying lightning as it pierced through the air towards Ling Xiao. Boom! The void trembled violently as Lei Zhuo unleashed all of his strength. Furthermore, the powerful restrictive formation that he had set up was also activated in an instant. The lightning was like a waterfall as it enveloped Ling Xiao from all directions. Even though Lei Zhuo was confident, he was still extremely cautious when he attacked. He wanted to kill Ling Xiao with a single strike. He knew that anyone who could enter the chaotic ancient land was a supreme talent with their own trump cards. Ling Xiao's gaze was incomparably deep. Facing Lei Zhuo, who was charging towards him, he simply threw out a punch. Kacha! The light of primal chaos shattered, and a vast and ancient qi burst out. Ling Xiao's fist rapidly expanded in the void, like a vast and ancient world, intertwined with golden lightning, rumbling and pressing down. Heaven and earth seemed to have flipped over at this moment. The endless lightning contained an aura that could destroy everything. It was like the punishment of the heavenly Tao that wanted to destroy this world. This is Heaven's Punishment secret skill. I didn't expect you to be from the 9 imperial gates. Very well, I'll take both the Heaven's Punishment secret skill and your life. Lei Zhuo's body trembled. His eyes were burning with passion and the lightning spear in his hand became even sharper. The Heaven's Punishment secret skill was the supreme technique of the 9 imperial gates. Legend had it that it was first passed down from the Lei clan. However, the Lei clan had long lost the Heaven's Punishment secret skill. Lei Zhuo had always wanted to snatch the Heaven's Punishment secret skill back from the 9 imperial gates. Now that he saw Ling Xiao using the Heaven's Punishment secret skill, his heart was burning with passion. Rumble! The lightning spear pierced through the sky and collided with Ling Xiao's fist. Blazing lightning exploded and swept away all the chaotic energy in the surroundings. However, Lei Zhuo's expression changed abruptly. He could feel an incomparably terrifying power erupting from Ling Xiao's fist. It was ferocious and overbearing to the extreme, causing his scalp to go numb. Kacha! The lightning spear was shattered by Ling Xiao in an instant. The lightning that filled the sky was annihilated and the surrounding lightning that was rushing towards Ling Xiao retreated abruptly. Break! Ling Xiao's gaze was sharp and his momentum did not decrease. He was like a peerless god of war as he used the Heaven's Punishment secret skill to destroy the powerful restriction that Lei Zhuo had set up. Lei Zhuo was sent flying. His blood and qi surged and his eyes were filled with disbelief. You've actually reached the 3rd heaven realm. Who are you? Lei Zhuo's body trembled and his eyes were filled with disbelief. According to what he knew, although 108 geniuses had entered the chaotic ancient land, the number of people who had reached the 3rd heaven realm could be counted on one hand. Only the legendary Son of Heaven and the Undying Prince had reached the 3rd heaven realm. He had never thought that he would meet a heaven realm monster the moment he arrived. You don't need to know who I am. Because in my eyes, you're already a dead man. Ling Xiao said indifferently. There was a trace of cold killing intent in his eyes. In the chaotic ancient land, there were many battles between geniuses. In order to seize each other's fate, one party had to pay the price of death. Chapter 2266. Arrogant. I don't care who you are, you must die. Lei Zhuo's eyes revealed a trace of madness. The terrifying aura around him rose and the lightning became even more intense. It was like a vast wave that enveloped his entire body. His palm glowed with divine light. Streaks of blood-red light converged from his body, forming a blood-red ball of light in his palm. It wrapped around a purple bead and slowly floated into the air. That purple bead was actually an eyeball. A sharp glint flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes. He actually felt a strong threat from that eyeball. Brat, you should be proud to die under the eye of the Lightning Emperor. Lei Zhuo's voice was incomparably cold. It was filled with monstrous killing intent. In an instant, the eyeball emitted an immeasurable amount of light as purple clouds rose. Bolts of lightning shot across the sky, containing an incomparably terrifying energy fluctuation. Rumble. The eye of the Lightning Emperor shot towards Ling Xiao. The purple lightning started to burn like flames, causing the surrounding void to distort and tremble violently. The eye of the Lightning Emperor. Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat. He guessed that the eye of the Lightning Emperor that Lei Zhuo was talking about was probably a treasure that he had obtained from these ruins. Ling Xiao didn't have the slightest fear. His gaze was still calm as he faced the eye of the Lightning Emperor that was flying towards him and punched out. Kacha! The void shook violently as the chaotic light illuminated the 3,000 worlds. Ling Xiao punched out, causing the heavens and earth to tremble. It was as if 3,000 ancient worlds had appeared, containing a kind of energy fluctuation that could suppress everything. The fist of the Heavenly Emperor had exploded. Ling Xiao punched out like a dragon. At the same time, the lightning around his body was dazzling. He executed the Heavenly Punishment secret technique in an attempt to neutralize the terrifying energy contained in the eye of the Lightning Emperor. Rumble. Ling Xiao's fist collided with the eye of the Thunder Emperor. In that instant, blazing waves of divine light erupted. The lightning was unparalleled, spreading out in all directions. It was like a vast ocean, drowning Ling Xiao entirely. Lei Zhuo's attack was also incomparably ruthless. After confirming that Ling Xiao's cultivation was at the heaven realm, he knew that he was no match for Ling Xiao. He immediately used his strongest trump card, the Eye of the Lightning Emperor. Ling Xiao's Heavenly Emperor fist was fierce and overbearing, causing the Eye of the Lightning Emperor to tremble violently. It was as if it couldn't withstand Ling Xiao's terrifying power. Wang! The Eye of the Thunder Emperor trembled with a buzz, and a blazing purple vortex erupted from within. It was as if it contained a foreign world, wanting to swallow Ling Xiao into it. As the purple vortex spun, it was as if all the stars in the sky had gathered together, causing Ling Xiao to feel dizzy. His primordial spirit almost flew out of his sea of consciousness and merged with the purple vortex. Vaguely, in the violet eye of the Thunder Emperor, there seemed to be a violet figure sitting cross-legged. His body emitted a terrifying aura, and countless fiend gods were buried in his surroundings, causing him to look even more tyrannical, like a supreme emperor who could sweep through the heavens. The Eye of the Lightning Emperor. Is this really the Eye of the Lightning Emperor? Ling Xiao's heart trembled. His forehead emitted a bright light. Although the Eye of the Lightning Emperor contained extremely powerful mental energy, Ling Xiao's primordial spirit was also incomparably strong. With the wordless heavenly book's protection, it was almost invulnerable. Sensing the terrifying lightning origin energy contained in the Eye of the Lightning Emperor, Ling Xiao used the Heaven-Devouring Secret Technique and Heaven's Punishment Secret Technique. A mysterious whirlpool formed around him. Rumble. The Heaven's Punishment Secret Technique contained the lightning origin energy. Ling Xiao had also cultivated the Heaven-Devouring Secret Technique to perfection, forming the Heaven-Devouring Sacred Domain. Under Ling Xiao's devouring, the boundless energy in the Eye of the Lightning Emperor crazily surged into Ling Xiao's body. Kacha! Streaks of blazing lightning covered Ling Xiao's body like divine chains of order. Under the refinement of the lightning origin energy, Ling Xiao's body became increasingly sparkling and flawless. A layer of sparkling and translucent cuticle even appeared on the surface of his skin, emitting an aura of eternal immortality. The acupuncture points on his body seemed to have been split open by lightning, forming a mysterious small world in the chaos. There was a mysterious figure sitting cross-legged in it. Although the figure's face was blurry, it was very similar to Ling Xiao. Lei Zhuo's face was filled with a cold smile. He was very clear about the terror of the Eye of the Lightning Emperor. Just a ray of light had caused him to be severely injured. If he hadn't used the Lightning Clan's foundation, he wouldn't have been able to obtain the Eye of the Lightning Emperor. He believed that even if Ling Xiao had the Heaven's Punishment secret technique, he would still die in the face of a treasure like the Eye of the Lightning Emperor. What? However, Lei Zhuo suddenly felt the Eye of the Lightning Emperor tremble slightly. A mysterious figure emerged from the endless sea of lightning. He couldn't help but tremble, and his eyes revealed a trace of disbelief. Ling Xiao, who had been devoured by the sea of lightning, actually emerged at this moment. Moreover, he was extracting the power of the Eye of the Lightning Emperor, and his aura began to gradually strengthen. How can he devour the power of the Eye of the Lightning Emperor? Damn it! This is impossible. Lei Zhuo's face was incomparably ugly, and his eyes revealed a mixture of shock and anger. For the first time, he felt that things had gone out of his control and were developing in an uncontrollable direction. Rumble. His eyes revealed a trace of ruthlessness and killing intent. Without thinking, he leaped into the sky, and the lightning war spear appeared in his palm once again. It was incomparably sharp, and directly pierced towards Ling Xiao's forehead. He had a feeling that if he didn't take advantage of this opportunity to kill Ling Xiao in one fell swoop, he would be in a very disadvantageous situation. The lightning war spear was a sacred treasure he had brought from the Lightning Clan. It was called the Calamity War Spear, and it possessed the supreme power to control the calamity. At this moment, it had completely erupted, like a black lightning dragon wreaking havoc. It was as if the heavenly Tao had sent a calamity to completely destroy Ling Xiao. Wang. However, when the Calamity War Spear was about to reach Ling Xiao's forehead, it was instantly caught by two sparkling jade-like fingers, and couldn't go any further. You want to kill me? Unfortunately, it's too late. Ling Xiao slowly opened his eyes, and there was a faint gleam of sharpness in his eyes. Kacha! His two fingers moved, and in an instant, the Calamity War Spear trembled violently. The surrounding lightning exploded, and the Calamity War Spear trembled violently. Lei Zhuo's expression changed as he felt an irresistible force coming towards him. His arm went numb, and the Calamity War Spear flew out of his hand in an instant. Whoosh! At the same time, a dazzling golden astral finger shot across the sky. It was Ling Xiao's finger. It was dazzling and exuded immortal energy waves. It was as fast as lightning and arrived in front of Lei Zhuo in an instant. Lei Zhuo didn't even have time to dodge. Puff! A bloody light flashed, and Ling Xiao's finger directly pierced through Lei Zhuo's forehead. Then, it rapidly destroyed the primordial spirit in his sea of consciousness, and a terrifying force erupted from his sea of consciousness. Lei Zhuo's body also exploded into a bloody mist in the air. Chapter 2267. Lei Zhuo had died in battle. Before he died, his eyes were filled with disbelief and fear. He didn't even have the time to beg for mercy before he died in Ling Xiao's hands. His ambition, his future, all of it had turned into nothingness at this moment. Until his death, Lei Zhuo couldn't figure out why the Eye of the Lightning Emperor couldn't do anything to Ling Xiao. He didn't even know Ling Xiao's name. The terrifying combat power that Ling Xiao had unleashed had made him feel despair. In the end, he died in an incomparably sullen manner. Boom! Ling Xiao's glabella shone and the wordless heavenly book unleashed a powerful devouring power, devouring all the fragments of Lei Zhuo's primordial spirit. Lei Zhuo's primordial spirit was very strong. Although it had been pierced by Ling Xiao's finger, it still contained boundless lightning origin energy. Now that it had been refined by the wordless heavenly book, the purest primordial spirit energy had been integrated into Ling Xiao's primordial spirit, making Ling Xiao's primordial spirit stronger. Ling Xiao even saw some of Lei Zhuo's primordial spirit fragments in the grass. However, before Ling Xiao had the time to examine Lei Zhuo's memories in detail, he heard two whizzing sounds. Their target was the Eye of the Lightning Emperor in the void. The Eye of the Lightning Emperor shone brightly in the void. It was enshrouded in purple clouds and blazing lightning. It looked like a purple divine sun with an incomparably powerful aura. As for the two figures that had broken through the air, they wanted to snatch the eye of the Lightning Emperor. Courting death. A cold light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes. He didn't expect that there would be people who dared to pick the fruits of his labor at this moment. Without thinking, he threw out a punch. At the same time, runes rose from his other palm and a blazing lightning vortex appeared. He executed the powerful Sky Punishment secret skill and grabbed at the eye of the Lightning Emperor. Rumble. Ling Xiao's punch was filled with anger, and he did not show any mercy. Terrifying divine energy erupted from his body, and it was as if a chaotic divine mountain had appeared in the void. It was vast and mighty, and it contained the power to suppress everything. The two figures paused for a moment. They also felt that Ling Xiao's punch was not to be trifled with. They did not choose to take it head-on. Instead, with a flash of light, they used the void teleportation technique to dodge Ling Xiao's punch. However, they had missed the best opportunity to obtain the eye of the Lightning Emperor. Whoosh! The eye of the Thunder Emperor shone brightly and instantly turned into a stream of light, being grabbed by Ling Xiao. It's you. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed coldly as he stared at the two figures in the sky. They were two valiant young men. One wore Qilin armor and held a halberd in his hand. His aura was incomparably sharp, while the other wore a five-colored Daoist robe. He looked handsome and confident, but his expression was incomparably arrogant. Ling Xiao had seen these two people before. They were the Nirvana Saint Sun and Origin Star Saint Sun. The two followers of the Son of Heaven actually appeared here. You are Long Outyan. The Nirvana Saint Sun and Yuanqin Saint Sun shuddered when they saw Ling Xiao. Fear appeared in their eyes. They had sensed the fluctuations of a great battle here. Furthermore, the aura of the eye of the Lightning Emperor was too powerful. That kind of resplendent treasure light blossomed in the sky, attracting their attention. Therefore, they had the idea of snatching the eye of the Lightning Emperor. However, they did not expect to meet Long Outyan here. Long Outyan was extremely powerful. They had seen the battle between him and the Son of Heaven. Although they did not think that Long Outyan would be a match for the Son of Heaven, they had to admit that Long Outyan was stronger than them. Nirvana Saint Sun, Yuanqin Saint Sun, you dare to snatch my things? How dare you? Ling Xiao laughed coldly. A trace of cold killing intent appeared in his eyes. He and the Son of Heaven had long been incompatible like fire and water. There would be a battle between the two of them. Ling Xiao naturally did not have any good feelings towards the followers of the Son of Heaven. He immediately wanted to kill them. Long Outyan, don't misunderstand. We are just passing by. Sorry for disturbing you. Goodbye. The Yuanqin Saint Sun's expression changed slightly. He cupped his hands and bowed to Ling Xiao. Then, he exchanged a look with the Nirvana Saint Sun and turned to leave. Want to leave? Leave your life behind. Ling Xiao's cold voice rang in the sky. In an instant, heaven and earth shook. The void rumbled and blazing divine light exploded. Ling Xiao's fist enveloped the Nirvana Saint Sun and Yuanqin Saint Sun. Rumble. At the same time, the lightning around Ling Xiao was unparalleled. He used the secret skill of Heaven's Punishment. Thick bolts of lightning covered the surroundings like a huge lightning barrier, cutting off the Nirvana Saint Sun and Yuanqin Saint Sun's escape route. It was fine if he did not make a move, but once he did, it was like a thunderbolt. Ling Xiao had no intention of letting the two of them leave. Long Outyan, don't go too far. The Nirvana Saint Sun was enraged. His eyes were cold. The heavenly halberd in his hand bloomed with brilliant light. Unparalleled divine power erupted and suddenly slashed at Ling Xiao. The aura of Nirvana enveloped his body. This attack had the infinite power to destroy heaven and earth. Although his cultivation was only in the earth realm, he was still the Saint Son of the Nirvana Temple. He had inherited the secret skill of Nirvana. His attack was also incomparably fierce. He knew that Ling Xiao was powerful, so he did not dare to be careless. He instantly used the secret skill of Nirvana. Long Outyen, do you really think we are afraid of you? Kill! The Yuanqian Saint's son also shouted angrily. A five-colored ancient sword appeared in his palm. It flowed with the aura of the great Tao of the five elements. It pierced through the air toward Ling Xiao. 5 sword lights intertwined, each of them incomparably fierce. At the same time, the aura of the 5 elements rose around him. It seemed to form an ancient boundary of the 5 elements around him. The power of the 5 elements merged together perfectly, forming a perfect balance. Going too far. You should have thought of today's outcome the moment you joined the Emperor and ambushed me. Ling Xiao's voice was incomparably cold. His fist print swept through the void and pressed down mightily. He was like an invincible celestial emperor. His fist light illuminated 3,000 worlds and collided with the heavenly halberd in the Nirvana Saint Sun's hand. Rumble. Blazing light exploded, and a series of explosions sounded in the void. The Nirvana Saint Sun only felt an unparalleled divine power attacking him. The heavenly halberd trembled violently as if it was about to fly out of his hand. Crack. At the same time, Ling Xiao reached out with his palm. It was like a huge blade light that separated heaven and earth. It directly broke through the powerful chi of Nirvana around the Nirvana Saint Sun and slashed at his head. Damn it! Chapter 2268. He suddenly spat out a black ball of light that bloomed in the void. In an instant, it split into 9 powerful boundaries in an attempt to block Ling Xiao's palm. At the same time, he grabbed the sky piercer halberd and slashed it behind him. It was as if he wanted to split the heavens and the earth and split the sea. He wanted to break through the endless lightning and escape. When he saw the battle between Ling Xiao and the Son of Heaven, he knew that Ling Xiao was very strong, but he did not think that Ling Xiao was much stronger than him. But now that they had exchanged blows, he knew that he was gravely mistaken. In front of Ling Xiao, he was like a child who had not yet grown up. It was as if he had no power to resist at all. Even if he used the Nirvana secret art, he was still not Ling Xiao's match. Rumble. Ling Xiao's palm blade slashed down from the sky. It contained an indestructible force and was extremely terrifying. It broke the 9 boundaries that the Nirvana Saint Sun had created. Even the 5 elements sword chi of the Yuanqian Saint Sun was instantly reduced to dust. The Yuanqian Saint Sun's expression changed as the terrifying palm blade slashed down. His entire body bloomed with 5-colored divine light. He trembled slightly and erupted with powerful void fluctuations. He dodged Ling Xiao's attack by a hair's breadth. The Nirvana Saint Sun was in a miserable state. His sky piercer halberd landed in the blazing lightning. In an instant, the void trembled and lightning exploded. The bolts of lightning that were as thick as dragons did not shatter as the Nirvana Saint Sun had imagined. Instead, they were incomparably tough and directly sealed his sky piercer halberd. Bolts of lightning struck the Nirvana Saint Sun's body, causing his entire body to tremble violently. He was severely injured. The tyrannical aura of Nirvana around him was also broken. His face was extremely pale and he coughed up blood. Boom! Ling Xiao's gaze was incomparably cold. A monstrous fist print pressed down from the sky, erupting with terrifying chaotic light that seemed to be able to obliterate everything. It also illuminated the Nirvana Saint Sun's terrified and desperate eyes. Poof! Under such a terrifying punch, the Nirvana Saint Sun exploded in the air and turned into a bloody mist. His nascent spirit shrieked and tried to charge out of the bloody mist, but Ling Xiao was prepared and swallowed it whole. The sky-devouring secret art devoured everything, and the Nirvana Holy Sun only had his nascent spirit left. It was impossible for him to escape. The Nirvana Saint Sun had been completely annihilated. The Yuanqian Saint Sun was stunned. When he felt Ling Xiao's cold gaze on him, he couldn't help but shiver. His eyes were filled with fear, and he no longer had the will to fight. Run! He had to escape at all costs. The Yuanqian Saint Sun's eyes revealed a trace of madness. He suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood and instantly drew an incomparably mysterious ancient rune character in the void. It was as if more than half of the Yuanqian Saint Sun's spirit had been sucked out and integrated into the ancient rune character. Boom! The ancient rune character wriggled violently in the void and then exploded. The surrounding chaotic mist was annihilated, and blazing divine light rose. The ancient rune character wrapped around the Yuanqian Saint Sun and wanted to rush out of the range of the sky punishment's secret art. A sliver of surprise appeared in Ling Xiao's eyes. He could feel the profoundness of the ancient rune. It actually contained an exquisite escape technique. Even the seal of Tian Fa was unable to do anything to it. Although Ling Xiao was surprised, he didn't slow down at all. His hands formed a seal, and circles of brilliant light of reincarnation bloomed. In an instant, it was like a mysterious reincarnation passage that directly enveloped the Yuanqian Saint Sun. At the same time, Ling Xiao's body roared. He punched out, and a golden divine dragon traversed the 9 heavens, containing a domineering and annihilating aura, rushed toward the Yuanqian Saint Sun. Rumble. The ancient rune character enveloped the Yuanqian Saint Sun and bloomed with 5-colored rays of light. It was about to break free from the seal of the sky punishment secret art and disappear in front of Ling Xiao. But when it was enveloped by the light of reincarnation, it suddenly seemed as if it had fallen into mud. It struggled violently in the void, but there was no way to escape. At this moment, the golden divine dragon soared through the sky and suddenly slammed into the ancient rune character. Terrifying divine power erupted and directly blasted the ancient rune character into smithereens. How is this possible? How can you break my 5 elements celestial shift? The Yuanqian Saint Sun trembled, and his eyes were full of disbelief. He couldn't help but exclaim. Boom! At the same time, after the golden divine dragon blasted the ancient rune character, it blasted violently into the Yuanqian Saint Sun. But a layer of perfect 5 elements boundary emerged on his body. It trembled slightly and shattered the golden divine dragon. What a powerful defensive secret art! Ling Xiao stared at the Yuanqian Saint Sun with a look of interest in his eyes. He could feel that the Yuanqian Saint Sun was displaying the 5 elements secret art, which was also the secret art of the 5 elements celestial sect. It contained the original power of the 5 elements great ways. But it was the first time that Ling Xiao had seen such a perfectly balanced boundary art. Even if he used all his strength, it was difficult to break it. Rumble. Blazing lightning rose around Ling Xiao. He had displayed the sky punishment secret art. In an instant, the surrounding Zhou Tian shook, the wind and clouds changed, and endless lightning intertwined in the void. It vaguely seemed to form an incomparably mysterious eye. That was the eye of heaven punishment. It was also one of the most powerful attacks of the sky punishment secret art. It could destroy everything. Feeling the terrifying aura of the sky punishment secret art, even the Yuanqian Saint Sun could not help but change his expression. He felt that even if the 5 elements secret art was strong, it would be difficult to withstand the bombardment of the sky punishment secret art. Long Out Yen, let me go. As long as you promise to let me go, I'll give you whatever you want. The Yuanqian Saint Sun shouted with a look of anxiety in his eyes. At that moment, he felt the threat of death. If I kill you, everything on you will naturally be mine. Ling Xiao said indifferently. His expression was incomparably calm. He still walked slowly toward the Yuanqian Saint Sun, as if he had no intention of letting him go. I have the inheritance crystal of the 5 elements secret art. As long as you let me go, I'll give it to you. If you insist on killing me, I'll choose to self-destruct. At that time, you won't get anything. The Yuanqian Saint Sun gritted his teeth and said with a trace of madness in his eyes. The inheritance crystal of the 5 elements secret art? Let me take a look. Ling Xiao said after thinking for a while. If you promise to let me go, I'll give you the inheritance crystal of the 5 elements secret art. Chapter 2269. Yuanqian, don't bargain in front of me. A 5 elements secret skill inheritance crystal is not enough to buy your life. If I had not stopped the undying prince, you would have died in his hands. You owe me 2 lives. Do you think you can live with a mere inheritance crystal? Ling Xiao sneered. Yuanqin Saint Sun's expression froze. He had no way to refute Ling Xiao's words. Speaking of which, he was indeed the one who repaid kindness with enmity first. Originally, he and Ling Xiao had no grudges before. Ling Xiao had saved his life, but he had turned to the emperor and set a trap to kill Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao did have a reason to kill him. Yuanqin Saint Sun did not dare to anger Ling Xiao. He gritted his teeth and took out the 5 elements secret skill inheritance crystal and threw it to Ling Xiao. This is the 5 elements secret skill inheritance crystal. I know it's not enough. I'll just take it as repayment for saving my life. I want to use a piece of information to buy my life. Yuanqin Saint Sun quickly said to Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao took the inheritance crystal and probed it with his primordial spirit. A moment later, a look of satisfaction appeared in his eyes. This was indeed the 5 elements secret skill inheritance crystal. What information do you think can buy your life? Ling Xiao played with the inheritance crystal and looked at Yuanqin Saint Sun with a half-smile. The place of inheritance of the Flowing Time Emperor. There are the supreme inheritances of the Flowing Time Emperor, the secret skill of spacetime, and the time compass. Yuanqin Saint Sun gritted his teeth. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He did not expect to hear about the inheritance of the Flowing Time Great Emperor from the Yuanqin Saint Sun. It should be known that he already had 3 Flowing Time compasses and a fragment of the Flowing Time Great Emperor. The spacetime secret skill was one of the most mysterious secret skills, second only to the chaos secret skill, fate secret skill, karma secret skill, and reincarnation secret skill. It was ranked 5th in Heavenly Dipper. The power of time was a taboo power. Even a sage would find it difficult to touch the power of time. Legend had it that only the Supreme Emperor could control the power of time. The Flowing Time Emperor was one of the strongest Supreme Emperors in the ancient times. He was on par with the Space Emperor. Even the inheritance of the Spacetime Heavenly Gate came from the Flowing Time Emperor and the Space Emperor. However, according to what Ling Xiao knew, the current Spacetime Heavenly Gate only had the complete Space Sutra and did not have the inheritance of the Flowing Time Emperor. Ling Xiao had 3 time compasses on him. According to his guess, there should be 9 time compasses. Only when the 9 time compasses merged into one would the Flowing Time Emperor's inheritance truly appear. Then tell me, where is the Flowing Time Great Emperor's inheritance? Ling Xiao sneered in his heart. He had already determined that Yuanqin Saint Sun was deceiving him, but he did not expose him. Instead, he asked with interest. Seeing that Ling Xiao was interested, Yuanqin Saint immediately became spirited and said, "The Flowing Time Great Emperor is one of the most ancient great emperors in the ancient times. He is known as the embodiment of time. To be able to control the forbidden power of time, his combat power is unparalleled. Even a great emperor would find it difficult to contend against him. If you can obtain his inheritance, you will be able to directly control the power of time. You will definitely be able to sweep through all the heroes. Even Lord Tianzi will not be your match. Not to mention the Flowing Time Great Emperor's time compasses. This is definitely the #1 treasure in the chaotic ancient land. I can tell you the location of the Flowing Time Great Emperor's inheritance, but you must swear by the heavenly Tao that you will spare my life and let me go." Yuanqin Saint Sun stared at Ling Xiao, looking a little nervous. But to his disappointment, Ling Xiao's expression was very indifferent. He could not see anything strange at all. "How do you know the location of the Flowing Time Great Emperor's inheritance?" Ling Xiao asked noncommittally. "You should have met the Saint Son of the Spacetime Heavenly Sect, Shi Bufan. I have a good relationship with him. He originally invited me to go with him to find the Flowing Time Great Emperor's inheritance. He also has the key to open the inheritance. I know the location of the Flowing Time Great Emperor's inheritance from him." Yuanqin Saint Sun quickly explained. "Shi Bufan. He has the key to open the inheritance in his hands." Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat. Could it be that Shi Bufan has other ways to open the Flowing Time Great Emperor's inheritance? Ling Xiao saw that Yuan Chen Saint Sun's expression did not seem to be fake. It should be true. Now that this was the case, it meant that the flowing time Great Emperor's inheritance was really in the chaotic battlefield. I can spare your life. But you have to personally bring me to the flowing time Great Emperor's inheritance. Ling Xiao said as he looked at Yuan Chen Saint Sun indifferently. All right. Yuan Chen Saint Sun's eyes revealed a trace of bitterness. He knew that Ling Xiao was worried about him, so he asked him to personally lead the way. I, Ling Xiao, swear by my primordial spirit that if Yuan Chen Saint Sun can really bring me to the flowing time Great Emperor's inheritance, then I will spare his life and let him go. The heavenly Tao is my witness. Ling Xiao said slowly with a strange syllable. At the same time, his glabella shone slightly, and a wisp of primordial spirit blood flew out, forming a strange rune in the void. Suddenly, the world trembled slightly. This was a reaction from the heavenly Tao. If Ling Xiao violated the oath, he would be spurned by the heavenly Tao and be rejected by it. Not only would his cultivation not improve, but he might even die from qi deviation. Seeing that Ling Xiao had really made the oath with his primordial spirit, Yuan Chen Saint Sun secretly heaved a sigh of relief. Don't worry, I will bring you to the flowing time Great Emperor's inheritance. Yuan Chen Saint Sun quickly said when he saw Ling Xiao's gaze fall on him. Lead the way. Ling Xiao said indifferently. All right. Yuan Chen Saint Sun carefully glanced at Ling Xiao, took a deep breath, and instantly leaped up, flying into the distance. Ling Xiao followed closely behind him. Yuan Chen Saint Sun could feel a cold murderous intent locking onto him. It was as if he dared to make the slightest move, he would instantly be killed by Ling Xiao's lightning. After seeing Ling Xiao's terrifying combat strength, Yuan Chen Saint Sun did not dare to take the risk and obediently led the way in front. On the chaotic battlefield, light was dense, and mist rose. Chaotic light constantly exploded in all directions, forming a mysterious scene that looked like the creation of heaven and earth. From time to time, ancient sacred mountains floated in the chaos, exuding a majestic aura. Ling Xiao's expression was calm, but the golden destiny above his head had expanded. After killing Lei Zhua and Nirvana Saint Sun, Ling Xiao had devoured their destinies, and his own destinies had become stronger. As Ling Xiao flew, he also digested the primordial spirit fragments of Lei Zhua and Nirvana Saint Sun. At the same time, the wordless heavenly book also slowly devoured the 5 elements secret skill inheritance crystal. Rumble. In Ling Xiao's sea of consciousness, it was as if heaven and earth had been opened. Blazing lightning rose, and 5-colored divine light intertwined, containing the majestic aura of the 5 elements Grand Tao. An ancient and mysterious scripture emerged from the wordless heavenly book. Chapter 2270. Ling Xiao had once obtained the secret arts of the 5 elements from the steel of 5 elements. Coupled with the secret arts of yin yang he had obtained from Jin Se, he had broken through to the 2nd level of ascension. Now, Ling Xiao discovered that the secret arts of the 5 elements was surging with resplendent divine light, making the secret arts of the 5 elements in the wordless heavenly scripture somewhat complete. This isn't the real secret arts of the 5 elements. Is this the legendary scripture of the 5 elements? It's a pity that it's not complete. A sliver of surprise flashed through Ling Xiao's eyes. He discovered that the secret arts of the 5 elements in the crystal of 5 elements were not exactly the same as the ones he had obtained in the Avalon of 5 elements. There were some subtle differences, but they corroborated each other, allowing Ling Xiao to gain a deeper understanding of the origins of the great ways of the 5 elements. It was very similar to the supreme scripture of the 5 elements celestial sect, the scripture of the 5 elements. The scripture of the 5 elements in the crystal of inheritance actually stirred up the wordless heavenly scripture. It trembled slightly, allowing the secret arts of the 5 elements to emerge once more. The wordless heavenly book trembled slightly. Immediately, the secret technique of the 5 elements turned into a vast torrent of information that surged into his sea of consciousness. In Ling Xiao's sea of consciousness, an incomparably sharp sword mountain appeared, a forest that contained boundless vitality appeared, a boundless ocean appeared, a blazing flame appeared, and a thick and ancient land appeared. Ling Xiao gradually comprehended the true meaning of the 5 elemental origins of metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. His understanding of the world became much clearer, and his presence became more ethereal as well. The secret arts of the 5 elements contained the secrets of the 5 elements. It could be described as a key to Ling Xiao's comprehension of the world. Combined with the secret arts of yin and yang, it allowed Ling Xiao to comprehend all the laws of the world. He could even decipher powerful divine arts and saint techniques instantly. In Ling Xiao's eyes, the world had turned into mysterious lines of laws. They combined together in a mysterious state, forming all things in the world and countless living beings. The secret arts of the 5 elements appeared on the wordless heavenly scripture. It shone with dazzling multicolored light, enveloping the entire scripture. Ling Xiao could feel a mysterious power slowly awakening within the wordless heavenly book. His control over the wordless heavenly book had also become stronger. The Emperor of Kunwa Mountain once told me that I had to obtain the 12 sky arts in order to become a saint. Could it be that I have to completely control the wordless heavenly book in order to avoid any hidden dangers? Ling Xiao thought to himself. The Emperor of Kunwa Mountain had once told him that the wordless heavenly book was not as simple as it seemed on the surface. It might be an ominous item, so he advised Ling Xiao not to overly rely on the wordless heavenly book. He also said that if Ling Xiao wanted to completely control the wordless heavenly book, he had to obtain the 12 sky skills before he became a saint. Now, Ling Xiao was getting closer and closer to completing the 12 sky arts. Ling Xiao also felt that his control over the wordless heavenly book was getting stronger and stronger. Ling Xiao also began to think about the deeper meaning of the Kunwa Mountain Emperor's words. The combination of the 5 elements scripture, the 5 elements secret technique, and the yin-yang secret technique can produce a supreme forbidden technique, the rainbow heavenly light. Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat as he became slightly excited. He discovered that the 5 elements scripture in the inheritance crystal and the 5 elements secret technique complemented each other. In addition, the yin-yang secret technique produced a mysterious transformation as a complete forbidden technique vaguely appeared. The forbidden technique, the rainbow heavenly light, contained the origin power of the great Tao of the 5 elements and yin and yang. It could destroy all techniques in the world and destroy everything in its path. It was incomparably terrifying. Even the most powerful holy treasures would be instantly disintegrated into their most basic state under the rainbow heavenly light and lose all power. Ling Xiao guessed that perhaps only an apex emperor weapon could withstand the power of the rainbow heavenly light. Speaking of which, the rainbow heavenly light is also the power of the combination of secret techniques. If I can combine all 108 secret techniques together, how powerful will it be? Ling Xiao's heart trembled. He hadn't thought that obtaining the 5 elements secret technique would yield such a great harvest. I hope the Nirvana Saint Sun's origin spirit won't disappoint me. The complete Nirvana secret technique will depend on him. Ling Xiao thought to himself as he began to devour the Nirvana Saint Sun's origin spirit again. He carefully sent the Nirvana Saint Sun's origin spirit into the wordless heavenly book. Since the Nirvana Saint Sun was the #1 prodigy of the Nirvana Temple, he must have the supreme inheritance of the Nirvana Temple on him. The Nirvana secret technique should be in his origin spirit. Crack! Ling Xiao saw the Nirvana Saint Sun's origin spirit slowly disintegrate under the wordless heavenly book's devouring. The powerful restrictions within were also shattered. As the successor of the Nirvana Temple, the Nirvana Saint Sun must have left all sorts of measures in his origin spirit to prevent others from possessing or searching his soul. However, those measures were useless in front of the wordless heavenly book. The wordless heavenly book easily broke through them. Rumble. Resplendent scriptures slowly appeared in the depths of the Nirvana Saint Sun's origin spirit and were absorbed by the wordless heavenly book. 9th in the Heavenly Dipper realm, the Nirvana secret technique. As Ling Xiao expected, after refining the Nirvana Saint Sun's origin spirit, he finally found the complete Nirvana secret technique. The aura of Nirvana emerged in Ling Xiao's sea of consciousness, allowing him to begin to comprehend the true meaning of the Nirvana secret technique. His aura became even more unfathomable. On the way to the flowing time emperor's inheritance, Ling Xiao had not only obtained the complete nirvana secret technique, but also a supreme forbidden technique, the rainbow heavenly light. Although he did not cultivate it, his sea of consciousness was constantly evolving the true meaning of the nirvana secret technique and the rainbow heavenly light, allowing him to have a deeper understanding of these two secret techniques. Brother Long, the flowing time emperor's inheritance is over there. The Yuanshan saint's son's voice suddenly sounded, waking Ling Xiao from his cultivation state. The Yuanshan saint's son did not know of Ling Xiao's changes during this period of time. If he knew that Ling Xiao had obtained two secret techniques in such a short period of time and that his strength had greatly increased, it was hard to say if he would have taken out the 5-element secret technique's inheritance crystal so readily. At this moment, he pointed at the mountain floating in the chaotic void and said with some surprise, "There?" A sharp light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes. He saw a lush green mountain floating in the chaotic mist in front of him. On the mountain, ancient trees towered into the sky. Clouds and mist were faintly discernible, containing a majestic aura of life. It looked like a paradise. It should be known that the mountains on the chaotic battlefield were all barren mountains without any aura of life. The sudden appearance of such a green mountain naturally surprised Ling Xiao. That's right. This is the flowing time emperor's inheritance ground, the flowing time green mountain. The Yuanshan saint's son said with great certainty. Chapter 2271. Green Age Mountain was the most special place in the chaos battlefield. This mountain seemed to be independent of the chaos battlefield and contained a majestic source of life. It had not been invaded by the chaos energy. On the mountain, ancient trees towered into the sky, waterfalls flowed, and old vines and precious herbs shone brightly. Wisps of auspicious vapor rose from them, making it look extremely mysterious and peaceful. Green Age Mountain. There's such a strong power of time here. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed with light. He saw that the surrounding void of the Green Age Mountain was distorted into a ball. Lines of time intertwined with each other, forming a chaotic domain. There, time seemed to have become chaotic and disorderly. Ling Xiao was very curious about how those ancient trees existed. After all, in that chaotic domain, tens of thousands of years might pass in the blink of an eye, or billions of years might pass in an instant. However, from Ling Xiao's point of view, those green ancient trees and all kinds of strange flowers and herbs did not seem to have changed at all. Brother Long, you're right. The Green Age Mountain is shrouded in the chaotic domain of time. Ordinary people can't enter at all. It's very likely that all of their lifespan will be instantly cut off and they will turn into a pile of bones. After all, even a sage, although known to be immortal, is not immortal. There's still a limit to one's lifespan. Yuanshan Saint said with a wry smile. Then how do we get in? Ling Xiao asked faintly. There's only one way to enter. That is to obtain the token left behind by the flowing time great emperor, the time compass. Otherwise, there's no way to enter the Green Age Mountain. Yuanshan Saint glanced at Ling Xiao cautiously and said, I remember that I spared your life on the premise that you lead me to the inheritance of the flowing time great emperor. Now that we're at the Green Age Mountain but can't enter, I can still kill you. Ling Xiao said expressionlessly. Brother Long. Since I promised to lead you to the inheritance of the flowing time great emperor, I naturally won't go back on my word. I hope you can keep your promise and let me go when you find the inheritance of the flowing time great emperor. Yuanshan Saint gritted his teeth and stared at Ling Xiao. What way? Ling Xiao asked noncommittally. The time heavenly gates Shi Bufan once gave me a time Dao talisman that can protect us from the invasion of the power of time. As long as we enter the time green mountain and find Shi Bufan, we will naturally be able to find the inheritance of the time emperor. The Yuanshan Saint's son explained. His palm shone brightly, and a mysterious ancient talisman appeared. It contained an extremely rich power of time. Time Dao talisman? Sure. As long as I can find the inheritance of the flowing time great emperor, I'll let you go immediately. Ling Xiao said indifferently. He glanced at the Time Dao talisman and discovered that it indeed contained a type of power that could resist the invasion of the power of time. It was the power of the time compass that was sealed within this ancient talisman. However, if the power within the Dao talisman was exhausted, it would naturally be unable to resist the invasion of the power of time. Ling Xiao had 3 time compasses on him. He also cultivated an incomplete version of the Time Dao talisman. Naturally, he could see the essence of the Time Dao talisman. However, Ling Xiao did not say anything about it. Through the God Clan mark in his primordial spirit, Ling Xiao had discovered that there were 4 or 5 powerful forces of luck in the Time Green Mountain. There should have been 4 or 5 supreme talents who had entered the Time Green Mountain. The Yuanqin Saint Sun did not tell him about this. Ling Xiao was sure that the Yuanqin Saint Sun was up to something, but he really wanted to see what the Yuanqin Saint Sun was up to. After all, he still needed the Yuanqin Saint Sun to lead the way to the inheritance of the flowing Time Emperor. Buzz! The Time Dao talisman in the Yuanqin Saint Sun's palm shone with a dazzling light. In an instant, it formed a mysterious boundary that enveloped Ling Xiao and the Yuanqin Saint Sun. Let's go! The Yuanqin Saint Sun glanced at Ling Xiao and then stepped into the Time Green Mountain. Ling Xiao's expression was calm and indifferent as he followed the Yuanqin Saint Sun into the Time Green Mountain. Rumble. After entering the Time Green Mountain, Ling Xiao immediately felt the strangeness of this area. The void was trembling slightly, and the surrounding forces of time were extremely chaotic, containing a terrifying destructive force. Perhaps ordinary people would not be able to discover it, but Ling Xiao's eyes, after integrating the Yin-Yang secret skill, could see through illusions and see the essence. He could see the strangeness of this place at a glance. The forces of time had formed mysterious vortexes. Some of the vortexes could instantly deprive a person of hundreds of millions of years of life, and some of the vortexes could directly stop time. If one rashly stepped into one of them, one would be instantly frozen and become a walking corpse. This area was extremely dangerous. Ling Xiao could feel the terror of the chaotic time domain. Perhaps even a sage would have no way to resist it. However, Ling Xiao was keenly aware that the Yuanqin Saint Sun did not look flustered at all. He was very calm, as if he had something to rely on. This made Ling Xiao even more curious. Could it be, the Yuanqin Saint Sun also has a time compass? Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat. Perhaps only the Yuanqin Saint Sun had a time compass, which could explain why he knew the location of the Time Green Mountain, and why he had the Time Dao talisman. As for the space-time Heavenly Gate Saint Sun, Bufan, it was probably just an excuse. If that was the case, it would be interesting. Ling Xiao sneered in his heart. The time compasses had a very strong connection with each other. However, the 3 time compasses that Ling Xiao obtained were all sealed in the depths of the wordless heavenly book, isolating all auras. Basically, no one could sense the fluctuations of the time compasses on his body. The Yuanqin Saint Sun led Ling Xiao to the top of the Time Green Mountain. The closer they got to the top of the mountain, the more terrifying the chaotic time domain became. When they reached the top of the mountain, Ling Xiao could feel that the surrounding chaotic forces of time seemed to have formed a terrifying storm, as if it could devour all life. On the top of the mountain, Ling Xiao saw the 5 powerful auras that he had sensed. Among the 5 figures, 4 of them had unfamiliar faces. Ling Xiao did not recognize them. They should be geniuses from other macro worlds, but Ling Xiao was very familiar with one of them. The space-time Heavenly Gate Saint Sun, Bufan. Buzz! Above the heads of the 5 figures, there was an ancient compass floating. Strands of light fell, protecting the 5 of them. The Time Compass. Chapter 2272. If there are 9 pieces of the Time Compass, I have 3 pieces. In addition to these 5 pieces, there is still 1 piece missing. It should be with Yuanqin Saint Sun. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he looked at Yuanqin Xingzi. Boom! At this moment, the Time Dao talisman above Ling Xiao's head suddenly shattered. Blazing light gushed out, and the surging power of time madly rushed towards Ling Xiao and Yuanqin Saint Sun. The radiance above the Yuanshan Saint Sun's head was dazzling. In an instant, a time compass appeared, protecting his entire body. The Yuanshan Saint Sun turned into a stream of light, shooting into the distance like lightning. Ha ha ha. Long out Yen, let's see if you can survive in this chaotic time zone. Yuanshan Saint Sun's eyes were filled with cold killing intent. His expression was indifferent as he laughed loudly. Along the way, he had felt extremely aggrieved, but his forbearance was all for this moment. Now that he had seen Ling Xiao being swallowed by the time chaos region with his own eyes, Yuanshan Saint's eyes were filled with indescribable joy. In this chaotic time zone, even Ling Xiao would die without a doubt. Even if he did not die, Yuanshan Saint's Sun had the time compass and was already in an invincible position. When the time came, killing Ling Xiao would only take a moment. This was his scheme and conspiracy. He used the inheritance of the Flowing Time Great Emperor to lure Ling Xiao, and then took drastic measures in the Flowing Time Mountain to deal a fatal blow. In his opinion, Ling Xiao was already dead. Rumble. The chaotic time laws all around were like a storm, madly rushing towards Ling Xiao, almost drowning him in an instant. At this moment, Shi Bufan and the other four also noticed Yuanshan Saint Sun and Ling Xiao. They showed a vigilant look, but their eyes were still cold and they did not say anything. Only Shi Bufan was shocked. After seeing Yuanshan Saint Sun, he was a little surprised, as if he did not understand why Yuanshan Saint Sun would appear here. However, he seemed to have thought of something and suddenly shouted, "Brother Yuanshan, be careful. Long Outyan also has the time compass." What? Yuanshan Saint Sun's laughter came to an abrupt end. After hearing Shi Bufan's words, he could not help but tremble, and a look of disbelief appeared in his eyes. Boom! At this moment, behind the Yuanshan Saint Sun, lightning blazed and dazzling, and the chaotic time storm exploded. A white-robed figure came from the sky, with 3 ancient time compasses above his head, and punched towards the Yuanshan Saint Sun. Ling Xiao's gaze was incomparably cold. As he had expected, the Yuanshan Saint Sun did not have good intentions. If he did not have the time compass, he probably would not have been able to deal with the time chaos zone. Even if he did not die, he would have been severely injured in an instant. The Yuanshan Saint's intentions were vicious, but unfortunately, he did not expect that Ling Xiao would have more than one time compass in his hands. The terrifying fist print contained chaotic light, as if it had opened up heaven and earth in the void. It contained the power to destroy heaven and earth, and directly blasted on Yuanshan Saint's body. How could you have the chrono compass? The smile on Yuanshan Saint Sun's face froze, and his eyes were full of uncontrollable horror. He could not believe that Ling Xiao had the time compasses. Unfortunately, he heard Ling Xiao's answer. The punch was too terrifying. Yuanshan Saint Sun's body suddenly exploded, turning into a bloody mist and completely turning into powder. His primordial spirit had no way to escape. It was directly swallowed by the devouring vortex between Ling Xiao's eyebrows and suppressed in the wordless heavenly book. Buzz! The golden fate above Ling Xiao's head became more and more dazzling, blooming with infinite light, making him look mysterious. Swoosh! Yuanshan Saint Sun's compass trembled slightly in the void after he was killed by Ling Xiao. It wanted to fly away, but was caught by Ling Xiao. All of this happened in an instant. Even Shi Bufan did not have time to rescue Yuanshan Saint Sun before he saw Yuanshan Saint Sun get killed by Ling Xiao. Seeing the 3 compasses above Ling Xiao's head and the Yuanshan Saint Sun's compass in his hand, Shi Bufan's eyes showed a trace of jealousy. There were a total of 9 time compasses, and Ling Xiao had taken 4 of them. Even the other 4 sky prides were eager to try. It was as if they wanted to snatch it at any time. However, they seemed to have thought of how Ling Xiao had killed the Yuanshan Saint and gave up in the end. Long Outyan, you killed Yuanshan Saint Sun. The Emperor will not let you go. Shi Bufan stared at Ling Xiao and said coldly. Emperor? There will be a battle between him and me sooner or later. Unfortunately, you won't be able to see it. Shi Bufan, Hand over the time compasses, and I will leave you a complete corpse. Ling Xiao said indifferently. His eyes were blazing with a strong killing intent as he looked at Shi Bufan and the other 4 supreme talents. Ling Xiao's killing intent had already been aroused. He wanted to kill all 5 of them and snatch their time compass. After all, Ling Xiao could tell at a glance that these 4 people had a close relationship with Shi Bufan. They were probably in the same group as Shi Bufan. Moreover, Ling Xiao had already sensed that they wanted to kill him. Long Out Yen, you are too arrogant. Don't think that you can do whatever you want just because you have 4 time compasses. The inheritance of the flowing time emperor is destined to belong to me, Shi Bufan. No one can snatch it away. Shi Bufan's eyes showed a trace of madness. He suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood on the time compasses. Rumble. Suddenly, the time compasses above his head began to shine with an incomparably blazing light. It instantly soared into the sky and floated above the time green mountain like a bright divine sun. The time green mountain also began to tremble violently. A dazzling torrent of time shot out from it like a vast ocean, wrapping around the time compasses. At the same time, the other 4 supreme talents' time compasses, as well as Ling Xiao's 4 time compasses, began to tremble violently. In an instant, they soared into the sky and flew into the vast torrent of time. The 9 time compasses gathered together at this moment. They were like 9 dazzling suns, floating in the void and emitting an incomparably powerful aura. Kacha! The 9 time compasses erupted with an ancient and vast light, connecting into a line. A dazzling light shot out from the 9 heavens and instantly pierced through the time green mountain. The time green mountain actually split open from the middle. Endless chaotic mist filled the air as the power of time intertwined. Lightning flashed and thunder rumbled. An ancient and mysterious palace appeared in front of everyone. Chapter 2273. Rumble. The ancient divine palace stood in the chaotic void, surrounded by the chaotic power of time. It was shrouded in dazzling divine light, looking mysterious and ancient. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He could feel that the divine palace contained a vast amount of time origin energy, as if it was the origin of all time, and also the return of the river of time. It looked extremely mysterious. Swoosh! 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 At that moment, a powerful suction force suddenly came from the divine palace. Ling Xiao, Shi Bufan, and the other 4 felt a surge of divine power rolling towards them, sucking them into the divine palace. Ling Xiao and the others did not resist, as they did not feel threatened. They knew that it was the effect of the time compass, and they probably had the qualifications to obtain the inheritance. After all, the 9 time compasses were scattered across the heavens, and the time emperor had left the place of inheritance here, probably to find a successor. They, as well as the dead Yuanqin saint, were all candidates. Rumble. Dazzling light exploded in front of Ling Xiao, and he appeared in an ancient and mysterious space, surrounded by chaotic mist. The sky was dark, and time seemed to be in a state of disorder, and everything became meaningless. Shi Bufan and the other 4 also appeared nearby. Their eyes were filled with vigilance as they looked at Ling Xiao. Under the strong pressure from Ling Xiao, the 5 of them stood on the same line, opposing Ling Xiao, guarding against him. The combat strength that Ling Xiao had just displayed was too terrifying. The Yuanqin saint's strength was not much different from theirs, but he could not withstand Ling Xiao's punch and was killed directly. If Ling Xiao attacked them, it would be difficult for the 5 of them to resist even if they worked together. Ling Xiao's lips curled into a faint smile, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. He was wondering if he should attack now and kill all 5 of them. The atmosphere became a little tense, as if a great battle was about to break out at any time. Buzz! At that moment, a dazzling light flickered in the distance, vaguely like a bright star, exuding a majestic and ancient aura. That's the time compass. Ling Xiao's eyes lit up, and he was instantly attracted. He discovered that the object that looked like a star was floating in the center of the temple. It shone with dazzling multicolored light. It was actually an ancient compass. Mysterious lines intertwined on it, containing the vast power of time. Upon closer inspection, it was as if those lines could penetrate the void and connect with all the worlds in the universe. They could control the time source of all the worlds in the universe. Furthermore, Ling Xiao could sense a powerful emperor's aura from it. Although it had yet to awaken, it was enough to make one's heart tremble in fear. Could this be the chrono compass, the apex emperor's weapon? Shi Bufan exclaimed as a look of incomparable greed appeared in his eyes. The 9 time compasses from before were merely replicas of extreme Tao emperor weapons. Although they were decent saint treasures, they were far inferior to the real time compasses. The mission of the 9 time compasses was to choose an inheritor and bring him or her to the place of inheritance of the chrono emperor. The breathing of the other 4 also became extremely rapid. Their eyes were blazing, and they could not wait to rush up and snatch the time compass. Buzz! The time compass shone brilliantly and instantly shot out 6 dazzling divine rainbows. They were like rainbow bridges that stretched across the sky and spread out in front of Ling Xiao, Shi Bufan, and the other 5. The 6 rainbow bridges were clearly separated and did not interfere with each other. However, they contained an incomparably vast and powerful power of time. At the same time, Ling Xiao, Shi Bufan, and the other 5 were also separated by the power of time. It was as if they were enveloped by a layer of boundary. The void trembled slightly. Although they could see each other, it was as if they were separated by an endless space. Is this the test of the time compass? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. The time compass was the Chrono Emperor's extreme Tao Emperor weapon. It could be said that whoever obtained the time compass would obtain the complete inheritance of the Chrono Emperor. The 6 rainbow bridges in front of them were probably the test set by the time compass. Only by passing the test and walking to the front of the time compass would one be qualified to be recognized by the time compass. Boom! Ling Xiao made a prompt decision. Without the slightest hesitation, he stepped onto one of the rainbow bridges. After Ling Xiao stepped onto one of the rainbow bridges, the void suddenly trembled. The scene before him changed and he appeared in an ancient world. The flowers, trees, mountains, rivers, lakes, and even the creatures in front of him were all in a strange state. A stalk of grass rapidly grew and then withered. In the end, it turned into a seed that was buried deep in the ground. Then, it sprouted new shoots and grew rapidly. A little white rabbit, from the moment it was born, it grew fur at a speed visible to the naked eye. Then, it became robust and shiny. In the end, it gave birth to offspring and gradually grew old before finally dying. The rivers went from being filled to being dried up, from being dried up to being filled again. The Tsang Mountains went from being filled with blooming flowers to being filled with passion and lush summer, to being filled with withered leaves in autumn, and finally to being covered in white snow and being filled with a lonely winter. The cycle of the 4 seasons, the cycle of life and death, was constantly playing out. Ling Xiao stood in the sky above this ancient world like a god of creation. He was neither sad nor happy as he quietly observed all the changes. This is time acceleration. Ling Xiao's heart trembled slightly. He could feel that this wasn't a real world. It was an evolution of the power of time. However, it also felt like a real world. Everything seemed so real and within reach. The powerful flow of time was like a mysterious line that interweaved around Ling Xiao, allowing him to clearly feel the power of time. In this world, time was infinitely accelerated. 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times, 10,000 times. This was why the mysterious scene of reincarnation appeared in front of him. Ling Xiao's expression was calm. He was neither sad nor happy as he floated in the air. He carefully felt the changes in time. It was as if everything in this world had nothing to do with him, but it was also under his control. This feeling was extremely mysterious. It allowed Ling Xiao to gradually understand the essence and power of time. Chapter 2274. Time Acceleration. A strange light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes as he muttered to himself. Then, he stretched out a hand as if he was parting the fog of history. It was just a gentle touch. Instantly, the time acceleration became faster and faster. At the beginning, Ling Xiao still felt a little awkward. However, as his understanding of the power of time deepened, it became easier for him to control time. At the beginning, he could only accelerate time by 2 times. Then, he could accelerate time by 10 times. Then, he could accelerate time by 100 times, 1,000 times, 10,000 times. Time was like a puppet in Ling Xiao's hands. In the end, when Ling Xiao felt that the time of the entire world was under his control, this ancient world suddenly shattered with a loud bang. Ling Xiao appeared on the Rainbow Bridge again. However, he had already walked forward for a distance. 9 time compasses, representing 9 types of time origin. Could it be that there are 9 tests on this Rainbow Bridge? Ling Xiao thought to himself. Without any hesitation, he took another step forward. Boom! The resplendent light bloomed once again, and Ling Xiao appeared in an ancient world. In this world, all the flowers, trees, mountains, rivers, lakes, and even all kinds of creatures grew extremely slowly. It was as though time had slowed to an extreme here. This is time deceleration, Ling Xiao said slowly. He was like an outsider, looking at everything in this world. He wasn't affected at all. Therefore, using himself as a reference, he easily discovered the true meaning of time in this world. After Ling Xiao comprehended the true meaning of time deceleration, this world was naturally broken. The third world was time stop. The time compasses that Ling Xiao obtained also contained the true meaning of time stop. Therefore, it didn't affect him much. Very quickly, he comprehended the true meaning of time stop. The fourth world was time distortion. Here, time and space were distorted, and the world became grotesque. Even the timeline was distorted. Flowers and trees might grow in reverse, and all kinds of beasts would suddenly die when they grew to their prime. It was as if everything in this world had become chaotic and disorderly. Because there was no reference, Ling Xiao took a long time to comprehend the true meaning of time distortion. The following worlds were still not difficult for Ling Xiao. The fifth world, time imprisonment. The sixth world, time destruction. The seventh world, time reincarnation. In the eighth world, time reversed. Unknowingly, Ling Xiao had already passed through the 8 worlds above the Rainbow Bridge. The time compass was not far away from him. It looked incomparably mysterious and gave off an eternal aura. As long as he passed the final world's trial, he would be able to reach the time compass. Ling Xiao looked back and discovered that Shi Bufan was following closely behind him. At this moment, he was taking the test in the 8th world. As for the other 4, they were much slower. They were all in the 4th and 5th worlds. This Shi Bufan is really strong. If he also had 3 time compasses, he would have entered the 9th world like me. Ling Xiao thought to himself, feeling a little more curious and surprised about Shi Bufan. To be able to come to the 8th world to take the test so quickly, it could be seen that Shi Bufan's talent was indeed very strong. He had extremely high attainments and talent in the Tao of time. The true meaning of time reversal is extremely dangerous. I almost lost my mind and was almost turned into a mortal without any cultivation base by the power of time. I'm afraid the 9th world will be even more dangerous. Ling Xiao muttered to himself. A sharp glint appeared in his eyes as he strode forward. Rumble. Blazing lightning bolts soared into the sky. Vast laws of the great Tao interweaved. Countless phantoms of gods and demons appeared. Ling Xiao appeared in an ancient and vast world. In this world, it was as if the world had just been created. Countless chaos gods and demons came from the chaos and launched an earth-shattering war. A vast and boundless continent in the chaos was shattered. Stars fell from the sky and blood rained down. It was like the Azura hell. Although Ling Xiao was observing all this as an outsider, he could still feel the ferocious and monstrous aura that made his body tremble slightly. He could feel that the strength of those chaotic divine demons was extremely terrifying. They could destroy stars, sink continents, and tear primordial ferocious beasts apart. They were ferocious. But in this place, time seemed to have turned into eternity. Lines of time intertwined like an order that bound everything. Although the world was sunk and space was destroyed, time still flowed forward in a mighty manner. It converged into a long river of time and flowed towards the unknown place. Eternity of time. Ling Xiao's heart trembled. He could feel the true meaning of eternity of time. It was as if no living being, no expert, and no power could resist time. In front of the universe formed by countless epochs, time was an eternal and immortal existence. Time was the order, the heavenly Tao, and everything. Without time, the existence of space was meaningless. The existence of the world was meaningless. Even the myriad races and billions of living beings in the universe had lost their meaning of existence. Eternity of time seemed to be a true meaning that only the chaos and the illusory heavenly Tao could control. Ling Xiao could only be a bystander and had no way to comprehend the true meaning of eternity of time. He sat cross-legged in this world as if he had passed away. There was no aura fluctuation coming from him. In the blink of an eye, billions of years had passed. He was still like a stone statue. At this moment, Shi Bufan had also passed the test of the eighth world and saw Ling Xiao's figure. Ling Xiao stood on the rainbow bridge without moving. He was only one step away from the time compass. One step away, but it was like a natural chasm. Long Out Yen has actually entered the ninth world. The time compass belongs to me, Shi Bufan. No one can take it away from me. Not even you, Long Out Yen. Shi Bufan's eyes revealed a trace of ferocious killing intent. Blazing divine light rose from his body and filled the air with a mysterious bloody light. In an instant, it silently spread towards the rainbow bridge. He took a step forward. In an instant, the void trembled. The endless power of time intertwined around him. An ancient and vast world vaguely appeared. However, the bloody light intertwined, causing the surrounding sky to tremble. It turned into streaks of bloody lightning that suddenly struck the ancient world and blasted the ninth world into smithereens. The vast true meaning of time instantly poured into Shi Bufan's body. He took a step forward and instantly appeared in front of the time compass. Chapter 2275. The time compass looked ancient and mysterious. It was enshrouded in resplendent light, and there were mysterious lines intertwined on it, as if it contained the mysteries of time. Standing in front of the time compass, Shi Bufan felt as if he could hear the ancient people chanting scriptures, hear the mysteries of the heavenly Tao, and see through the secrets of time. Blood-red light bloomed around him, intertwining with seven-colored radiance. Vaguely, there seemed to be an incomparably mysterious and ancient figure appearing behind Shi Bufan. Long Out Yen, I'm afraid you didn't expect this. I've refined a drop of the flowing time Great Emperor's blood. The flowing time Great Emperor's inheritance is still mine. Once I've refined the time compass, I'll send you on your way. Shi Bufan muttered to himself. His voice was incomparably cold. He coldly glanced at Ling Xiao. Instantly, endless seven-colored blood-red light gathered in his palm, and then grabbed at the time compass. Wang! The time compass trembled slightly, as if it had sensed some kind of power. It formed a strange resonance with Shi Bufan and began to vibrate. Resplendent light bloomed around Shi Bufan's body. The 9 true intents of time floated around him like 9 resplendent stars. They converged into a pure and vast time origin energy that surged towards the time compass. After going through the trials of the 9 worlds, Shi Bufan had also comprehended the 9 true intents of time. He wanted to use them to refine the time compass. The time compass floated in the chaos, containing a vast and unparalleled emperor's aura. Shi Bufan could feel that his control over the time compass was getting stronger and stronger. He couldn't help but reveal a look of incomparable surprise and excitement. As long as he refined the time compass, he would be able to become the true successor of the flowing time Great Emperor. At that time, with the various means left behind by the flowing time Great Emperor, even killing Long Out Yen would be a simple matter. Shi Bufan tightly guarded his mind. He activated the power in his body and began to refine the time compass with all his strength. Rumble. At this moment, Ling Xiao also walked out of the ninth world. His eyes revealed a trace of vicissitude and profound expression. The ninth true intent of time, eternal time. What a powerful eternal time. I almost lost myself in it and couldn't extricate myself. Ling Xiao muttered to himself with lingering fear. When he was undergoing the test of the true meaning of eternal time, he felt that time was frozen, and the mysterious concept of immortality. Those grotesque and variegated scenes of countless battles between chaos-fiend gods appeared in front of his eyes, making his comprehension of the true meaning of time more and more profound. Finally, after an unknown period of time, he completely comprehended the true meaning of eternal time and broke out of that world. How can Shi Bufan be so fast? A sharp light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes. He instantly saw Shi Bufan sitting cross-legged under the time compass, refining it. The time compass exuded an extremely powerful emperor's aura, as if it could destroy everything. Around it, many worlds were born and died, and the river of stars was turned upside down. Before Ling Xiao entered the ninth world, he saw Shi Bufan struggling in the eighth world. However, he didn't expect Shi Bufan to be faster than him. Shi Bufan arrived in front of the time compass and started refining the time compass, an extreme Tao Emperor weapon. We can't let him obtain the time compass. Ling Xiao's gaze turned cold as he strode towards Shi Bufan. Wang! Suddenly, mysterious ripples appeared in the void. Ling Xiao moved thousands of feet in a single step, but what made him tremble was that Shi Bufan and the time compass were still in front of him. It was as if Shi Bufan had grown limbs as he moved, causing Ling Xiao to be unable to reach Shi Bufan's side. Ling Xiao's heart trembled violently. He faintly felt that the atmosphere was unreal. What's going on? Since I've passed the 9 tests and comprehended the 9 true meanings of time Tao, I should be able to defeat Shi Bufan and take back the time compass. But why can't I get close? Ling Xiao frowned and looked at Shi Bufan in front of him, his heart full of doubts. Shi Bufan and the time compass were in front of Ling Xiao, but he felt as if they were separated by endless time and space. He couldn't reach Shi Bufan at all. In front of him was still the chaotic void, as if there was nothing. However, Ling Xiao vaguely felt that something was wrong. It was extremely unreal. Could it be, this is the 10th world? Ling Xiao's body trembled and a bright light flashed in his eyes. Ling Xiao took a deep breath and his heart became as calm as an ancient well. He slowly closed his eyes and sat down cross-legged on the spot. There was silence all around. The chaotic mist lingered and various mysterious scenes appeared. It was as if heaven and earth were being split apart, causing the surrounding sky to tremble slightly. However, it returned to normal in an instant as if nothing had happened. In this moment, Ling Xiao felt a strange power of time flowing through every corner of the chaotic void. Rumble. Ling Xiao vaguely felt that there was blazing lightning rising in the surroundings. An ancient and mysterious world had been opened up in the chaos. Ling Xiao had turned into the heavenly Tao of this world, watching the struggle of countless living beings. He felt that they were all ants under the heavenly Tao. Time became erratic in this place, and even Ling Xiao was unable to distinguish what was real and what was fake. This is indeed the 10th true meaning of time. The true meaning of reality and illusion. Ling Xiao's heart trembled and he was even a little shocked. This true meaning of time seemed to be detached from the other 9 true meanings of time. However, it seemed to be everywhere. It was both real and fake, illusory and real. It made people feel like they could forever sink into the long river of time. They couldn't find their way and couldn't see their destination. This was the power of the true meaning of time. It seemed illusory, but Ling Xiao vaguely felt that it might be the most powerful true meaning of time. Even he had almost been bewitched. Ling Xiao was now certain that Shi Bufan was probably lost in the 10th world. He was lost in the power of the true meaning of time and was unable to extricate himself. He thought that he had refined the time compass, but he was actually still in the test. Kacha. Ling Xiao's expression was calm, without sorrow or joy. It was as if he had comprehended the concept of the truth and falsehood of time. The ancient chaotic void in front of him shattered with a loud bang. What appeared in front of Ling Xiao was still the chaotic void. However, the difference was that this was the real world. The chaos was the origin of everything. It was the end of the universe. Chapter 2276. In front of him, the ancient time compass was floating in the chaotic void. It looked dazzling, simple, and mysterious. It contained a vast amount of time origin energy, which made Ling Xiao's eyes light up. Time compass. Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat, and he immediately walked towards the time compass. Buzz! Bright light bloomed around Ling Xiao's body. With every step he took, a ray of time essence turned into a dazzling halo behind him. Ling Xiao took 10 consecutive steps forward. 10 streams of the true intent of time transformed into 10 halos behind him, enveloping his entire body, making him look ethereal and mysterious. There was a mysterious aura that seemed to be impervious to all laws. As if it could sense the 10 halos behind Ling Xiao, the time compass trembled slightly. The 10 dazzling halos shot out 10 rays of light, which merged into the time compass. The lines on the time compass lit up, and the time compass emitted a vast and mysterious emperor's aura. It was as if it could sweep across the heavens and suppress everything. Its aura was terrifying to the extreme. Swoosh! The time compass flew into Ling Xiao's sea of consciousness, and a vast and mighty aura swept out. It was incomparably domineering, as if it wanted to shatter everything in Ling Xiao's sea of consciousness. Rumble! The wordless heavenly book and the fortune jade disc were instantly displeased. Although these two chaos treasures were slightly damaged and not as powerful as they were in their prime, they were still chaos treasures that were more terrifying than extreme Tao Emperor weapons. At this moment, both of them were radiating brilliant light as they confronted the time compass. Rumble! The time compass was a flawless emperor weapon, and its vast emperor's aura could crush everything. As for the wordless heavenly book and the fortune jade disc, they were both chaos treasures. The three treasures immediately clashed in Ling Xiao's sea of consciousness. In an instant, it was as if the heavens and earth were split open, and the universe was destroyed. Countless gods and demons roared, and the aura was terrifying to the extreme. If it wasn't for the wordless heavenly book protecting Ling Xiao's primordial spirit and sea of consciousness, the collision of the three treasures would have turned Ling Xiao into ashes. However, although the three treasures were fighting fiercely, no one could do anything to the other. In the end, it gradually calmed down. It's finally stopped. However, although I can control the wordless heavenly book and the good fortune jade disc, this time compass is simply a ticking time bomb. I have to think of a way to refine it as soon as possible. How strange, why did it suddenly run into my sea of consciousness? Ling Xiao heaved a sigh of relief as a trace of doubt appeared in his eyes. He hadn't even started to refine the time compass, but the time compass had already entered his sea of consciousness, causing him to be incomparably shocked. He had obtained the flowing time great emperor's inheritance so easily. Ling Xiao was still unable to get used to it. Rumble! Just as the chrono compass flew into Ling Xiao's sea of consciousness, the few rainbow bridges in the void shattered, and Shibufan and the other four powerhouses rushed out from within. What's going on? My compass of time. Where did my time compass go? Shibufan's incomparably furious and shocked voice rang out in the void. His expression was incomparably ugly, and his gaze was incomparably gloomy, filled with monstrous rage and killing intent. One must know that Shibufan was about to completely refine the time compass, but he didn't expect it to disappear directly. He was so angry that his entire body was trembling, and his voice was filled with unwillingness and killing intent. However, the other four experts were also at a loss as they looked at each other. After all, they were originally undergoing a trial in the world, but they didn't expect the world to shatter and they would be forcefully teleported out. Only Ling Xiao's expression was incomparably indifferent, and his body emitted an incomparably powerful aura. Shibufan's gaze instantly fell on Ling Xiao, and the killing intent in his eyes was incomparably intense, filled with bone-deep hatred. This was because he felt the aura of an extreme emperor weapon from Ling Xiao's body. That was the aura that belonged to the time compass. The time compass was currently in Ling Xiao's possession. Long Out Yen, hand over the time compass. Otherwise, I won't rest until you're dead. Shi Bufan's eyes were incomparably bloodshot as he glared at Ling Xiao. The time compass is in Long Out Yen's hands. The other 4 experts trembled as well, and the confusion on their faces receded. Their eyes were filled with incomparable jealousy. That was the flowing time emperor weapon, the time compass, and it had fallen into Ling Xiao's hands just like that? Not only was the time compass an extreme emperor weapon, it might also contain the flowing time emperor's supreme inheritance, complete with the complete time cycle and various other powerful emperor techniques and secret techniques. For brothers, help me kill Long Out Yen. After we obtain the flowing time emperor's inheritance, how about we split it equally? Shi Bufan transmitted his voice to the 4 experts. How should we split the time compass? After all, there's only one of it. A burly man with bulging muscles said in a muffled voice, but there was an incomparably cunning look in his eyes. We can split the time cycle and other emperor techniques and secret techniques in the time compass equally. As for the time compass, the 5 of us will share it. How about that? Otherwise, I'm afraid none of us will be a match for Long Out Yen. Shi Bufan said without hesitation. Deal. Alright, no problem. Let's kill this bastard. I've long found this brat an eyesore. The 4 experts said one after another. Their eyes were filled with murderous intent, and killing intent surged around them as they slowly surrounded Ling Xiao. What? You want to join forces? Ling Xiao said indifferently. His expression was extremely calm, but there was a trace of mockery in his eyes. Long Out Yen, we admit that you're very strong. However, if you want to take the time compass for yourself, you'll have to ask for our permission. If you know what's good for you, hand over the time compass. Perhaps we'll let you comprehend the time compass together. Otherwise, we'll let your blood splatter on the spot. A young man in black with a feminine temperament said sinisterly. His voice was incomparably ear-piercing and made people feel uncomfortable. Cut the crap. All of you can come at me together. You can accompany me on the road to the netherworld. Ling Xiao said with a faint smile, but his eyes were filled with a cold light. You're courting death. Shi Bufan's eyes were filled with blood-red light, and his killing intent exploded. An incomparably terrifying aura erupted from his body as he charged towards Ling Xiao. Rumble. A vast aura rose from his body.